when a gunshot tears through the quiet because Nia Yen finally learned how to shoot straight. He does not miss. Tao, a bloated chairman in a Dracula suit, gets blasted right in the chest. Blood sprays and the corrupt chairman crashes to the floor. Bodyguards completely lose their minds, screaming his name as if that will save him. The rest spray bullets directly at Nia Yen. Heavy gunfire tears into him, but he is still smirking. Money and power mean nothing in the face of his last bullet of sweet revenge. Nia Yen collapses in a pool of blood, but at least he got his payback. His final thought is bitter. Why did fate rush his tragic end? He reaches toward the fading light, refusing to give up just yet. Then his eyes fly open. Nia Yen suddenly snaps awake with a violent gasp. Instead of a cold floor covered in blood, he is lying in a comfortable bed. There is not a single scratch on him. He sits up, his heart pounding wildly, because he clearly remembers getting turned into absolute Swiss cheese by those guards. He looks around the messy room and suddenly freezes. This is the exact same cheap apartment he rented during his college years. The truth hits him like a lightning strike. He regressed. Just then, an old television grabs his attention. The news broadcast announces the launch of a virtual reality game called Conviction, with its servers having been live for only 1 week. Nia Yen's eyes widen. Because this news confirms everything. He is actually back in the past. He picks up a dusty picture frame, staring quietly at the photo of himself standing next to his parents. It is a painful reminder of how his family's nightmare originally began. Years ago, his parents struck gold with a rare metal the government wanted desperately, and bought for a massive price, making them rich overnight. His father used that wealth to build a smelting company. Soon, their family was living an incredibly lavish lifestyle, but right when they were swimming in cash, tragedy was waiting to strike. When Nia Yen turned 25, the massive Century Financial Group targeted his father's business. To make matters worse, the people his father trusted took massive bribes, switched sides, and ruthlessly sold him out without a single second thought. Devastated by the sudden betrayal, his father took his own life in total despair. His mother died shortly after from heartbreak, leaving Nia Yen completely alone. Staring at his reflection, he admits that being spoiled made him incredibly lazy. During his youth, only after losing absolutely everything did he decide to risk his life just to drag Tao Yu down with him. Talk about a brutal wake-up call. Now fate hands him a second chance, and he clenches his fist with burning resolve. This time he refuses to lose anything because he knows exactly where this begins. Conviction is far more than just a game. It is a hyper-realistic virtual world that completely reshapes society and draws in massive global conglomerates, including Tao Yu's powerful empire. In his past life, Nia Yen was far from a normal casual player. He reached the legendary level of 180 as one of the most notorious thieves in the entire world. He quickly grabs his phone to check the date. It is July 25th. Conviction has only been open for 7 days. Relief washes over him. He is not too late. At this early stage, the players dominating the leaderboard should only be around level 5, with all of his memories and deep in-game experience from the future still fresh in his head. Catching up is going to be incredibly easy. He already knows his very first. Luckily, his younger self still has a tiny bit of savings. He checks his account. The balance is barely enough for a cheap gaming helmet. He has a plan. He throws on some clothes and walks out. Today, everything gets rewritten. Later that night, the lights stay on inside his tiny, cramped apartment. He knows he is 7 days behind everyone else, a massive disadvantage. But with his future knowledge, he plans to crush every single rival. He is going straight to the absolute top of conviction once again. His awareness slowly drifts away from reality as a system screen pops up. Character creation is the very first step. A massive world map opens up, asking him to select the kingdom where his grand journey will begin. The world of conviction is divided into 3 major, distinct factions. First is the righteous faction, including the Vidian and Satrian empires. The Vidian Empire is a human nation governed by a council of elders. Meanwhile, the Satrian Empire is a tribal alliance of dwarves, orcs, and elves. Next is the lawful evil dark faction, packed with demons and undead. They are ruled by powerful dictators. Finally, the third option is the neutral faction, designed for players who prefer a much more peaceful path. This faction includes the giant tribes. Naturally, Nia Yen does not hesitate. In his previous life, he spent years playing under the Vidian Empire. He was a Gale thief. He knows every quest and shortcut by heart. Selecting it again lets him fully exploit his massive lifetime of experience. Confident in his choice, he selects the Gale Thief class once again. The system immediately confirms his selection and loads up the naming screen. He inputs his username, Nirvana Flame, and trust me, this name will shake history. Instantly, he spawns inside Calorie City, his familiar status screen popping up. Level 1 Thief, 5 unassigned stat points. He wastes absolutely 0 time. He dumps 3 points into strength and 2 into agility, last time. He completely messed up his stats and wasted hours fixing the build. He is absolutely not repeating that rookie mistake, scanning the busy plaza. He sees brand new players running around everywhere as they start there. Journeys, some are already trying to make quick cash with trash gear. One guy is loudly advertising a basic dagger for 2 copper coins, claiming it is a major upgrade over the starter weapon, Nia Yen. Just smirks, this guy is confidently running a day 1 scam since that exact dagger sells for only 1 copper coin in a nearby town. His past self actually fell for it, but today nobody is scamming him. Just then another player catches his attention, a level 3 seller. Named Silent Paladin is trying to sell a stealth skill book. While shouting at every rookie thief nearby, most of the newbies complain immediately because 6 copper coins is just way too expensive, right? Now, but for Nia Yen, this is an absolute steal. He immediately walks over to Silent Paladin asking about the book. The price remains. At 6 copper coins, Nia Yen is already thinking 3 steps ahead. Stealth is one of the most vital early game skills, allowing him to reach a locked chest hidden inside a high-level zone. Level 5 area near Track Town, since almost everyone is low-level. That treasure chest should still be completely untouched. It is basically free loot for whoever has the brains to get there first, instead of paying. Which is a pretty wild deal. He wants the skill book for free and in exchange promises to reveal a secret farming spot capable of dropping over a dozen stealth books every single day. Silent Paladin instantly gets annoyed seeing that Nia Yen is only level 1. The guy looks at him weird, since he literally spawned 5 seconds ago and is already making billionaire offers. Even after getting brushed off, Nia Yen stays completely calm. He tells Silent Paladin to wait and accurately describes the exact spot where the Paladin farms those stealth books by killing fallen shamans over in Link Town. Then he even drops the precise coordinates of that secret grinding spot. Silent Paladin freezes as a cold sweat starts forming his face. Basically screams that this complete stranger should not know any of this. After a moment of hesitation, he hands over the stealth book, a small price to pay if this wild tip turns out to be real. A system window appears, confirming that the trade between Silent Paladin and Nirvana Flame is complete. Nia Yen keeps his word and hands over coordinates for another fallen shaman camp. Silent Paladin is completely hyped. The potential profit is insane, but Nia Yen has one more request. Fallen shamans can also drop another skill book called Owl's Insight, and if Silent Paladin grabs an extra copy, he asks the guy to mail it over. Silent Paladin quickly agrees, since if the new spot works, sending 1 extra skill book is basically pocket change. Now holding that stealth skill book, Nia Yen completes the first part of his plan. A faint glow surrounds him as he prepares for his next objective, opening the hidden treasure chest. Without wasting another second, he heads through the city until he reaches Track Town, the closest settlement to his destination. The moment he arrives, he learns the stealth skill. He immediately activates it as dark shadows wrap around his body until he completely vanishes from sight, moving like a ghost through the busy streets of Track Town. He uses his agility to leap over the city walls. Instead of wasting time at guarded gates, clean movement, 0 NPC interactions, he lands out in the forest and immediately sprints toward the high-level hunting grounds where the hidden treasure is waiting, still hidden. By stealth, he reaches the Wildcat Zone. The forest is packed with danger as level 2 to level 4 wildcats roam all over the place, ready to jump any player they spot. From behind the cover of the trees, Nia Yen finally sees what he came for. In conviction, chest rarity is everything. The order goes from common to silver, gold, dark gold, and finally legendary. The higher the rank, the crazier the rewards. Nia Yen keeps his eyes locked on the silver chest because that is the prize he came to claim. The loot inside is fixed, and once someone opens it, the chest disappears forever. for a level 1 player walking into a level 5 area is basically asking for a free trip to respawn. Luckily, dying at his current level does not cost any experience, so he has nothing to lose. He activates stealth again and moves deeper into the. He slips through the forest bushes like a shadow, avoiding every wild cat. He leaps into the branches of a massive tree, knowing he must move fast. Stealth only lasts 2 minutes, opening this takes time. Suddenly, one of the wild cats down below completely freezes in place. Those glowing red eyes narrow, as if it senses something is pretty off. Without warning, it leaps and slashes right where Nia Yen was standing. The beast is getting highly suspicious, and our boy is incredibly close to failing. One sniff away from total failure, he can't get close. Any mistake breaks his invisibility, so Nia Yen quickly hops between branches. He stays high above the confused beasts before landing silently on a limb. Right beside the silver chest, he immediately reaches out to open it. A cast progress bar instantly pops up right in front of him. His heart starts pounding hard, but he forces himself to stay calm. If his stealth wears off now, this whole run is completely dead. Down below, the wild cats grow even more agitated, pacing around restlessly. Pacing beneath the tree, and then, after what feels like forever, the system unlocks. Nia Yen's eyes light up after 27 tense seconds. He reaches deep inside the chest and pulls out a rare skill book. The gamble pays off. His reward is a skill called Vital Strike. It grants 150% extra damage on weak points. With this secure, his absolute climb to the top of conviction begins. Nia Yen smirks. At level 0, he already unlocked top-tier power. This is a high-level skill. Advanced thieves only get much later on. With Vital Strike, his early game becomes an absolute speedrun. Everything is falling into place exactly the way he wanted it to. The book fades and the system confirms he learned Vital Strike. Phase 1 is done. Right then, his stealth completely wears off. 2 huge, red-eyed monsters down below finally spot him. Perfect. Without a second thought, Nia Yen jumps straight into the pack. While falling, he mentally thanks the confused monsters for guarding his chest. Honestly, the sheer disrespect of this move is pretty wild. Normally, dying in conviction means losing experience and dropping gear. But Nia Yen is still level 0, owning absolutely nothing of value. For him, dying is not a loss, it is a free teleport. Notifications flood in. He dies, dropping his cheap starter gloves. The system immediately teleports him back to the nearest starter town. Everything goes perfectly. Nia Yen respawns right in the busy town. A slow smile spreads across his face. The plan worked perfectly. He literally weaponized death as a free fast travel exploit. Talk about big brain energy. Now it is time for Phase 2. Standing among clueless beginners, Nia Yen knows he has a massive advantage. Looking around the starting village, he realizes he needs money first. Thanks to memories of his previous life, he knows a secret quest. First, he visits Hunter Klaus to accept a basic hunting mission. He has to collect 20 giant rat skulls, then he heads out. He meets Farmer End and grabs another quest to hunt 50 silver-gray giant rats. Just as he expects, accepting those 2 quests triggers a hidden requirement. The apothecary walks over, unlocking a secret 3rd quest almost nobody knows about. This little trick stays hidden from almost every single player. But Nia Yen remembers. Smiling, he accepts it. He takes the secret mission for 21 giant rat tails. Everything lines up. Now every single kill counts toward multiple objectives, out in the fields. A silver-gray giant rat creeps through the tall grass. It is exactly what he wants. Nia Yen rushes forward and activates Vital Strike. The skill does not even need a dagger to work, dealing 21 damage. Way more than any normal level 0 player should ever be able to pull off. The rat instantly folds, a skull and tail drop, and his farming begins. And here's where his luck goes absolutely crazy, the very first. Target actually drops a rare item, a pair of tough leather leggings. Nia Yen immediately spots their value, selling them at the auction house. Will bring in the extra copper he needs for his next move. No slowing down, he keeps moving, soon taking on whole packs. Vital Strike lands over and over as the monsters drop one by one. The grind goes so smoothly, it is obvious he will finish early. When he finally heads back to the village, his inventory is packed. He turns in his hard-earned quest items to Hunter Claus, Farmer End. An apothecary droll, the rewards add up to 34 copper coins. And several health potions, without wasting a single second. He lists those leggings on the auction house and heads to the weapon shop. The merchant welcomes him with a massive smile, immediately hyping his weapons like every pushy salesman out there, but Nia Yen is not buying it. He already knows exactly what he wants and asks for a level 0 crossbow. It needs at least 3 attack and a fast fire rate for under 40 copper. The shopkeeper proudly brings out his absolute best option right away. It is a rapid-fire hand crossbow with a triple shot effect. It is exactly what Nia Yen wanted, priced perfectly at 35 copper. He buys it instantly, then grabs 9 bundles of rough iron bolts. That is 9,000 bolts, costing him 44 copper coins. He is broke as hell, but armed with a new crossbow and tons of ammo. Nia Yen leaves as the owner bows and wishes him safe travels. Fully prepared, he heads toward his real destination, the Bison Zone. The game features a brutal level suppression system, and the beasts are level 8. For low-level players, they are pure nightmares. Even the top players are smart enough to stay far away this early. But Nia Yen is completely unbothered, thanks to his future knowledge. He knows this crazy level gap is not going to stop him at all. At level 0, he reaches the Wild Bison Zone, a massive, dangerous plain. It is packed with high-level monsters and steep cliffs. Moving carefully through a narrow ravine, he heads toward a secret location. Burned into his memory, climbing onto a high ledge, he prepares his move. He checks his coordinates. Yep, this is the spot. Looking down, he quickly spots the boss roaming the field below, the Bison Chieftain. Level 8 ranked beast that no beginner should ever be fighting. For anyone else, this thing is a straight-up delete button, but Nia Yen stays calm. Because from this ledge, he has the perfect angle. The boss is right. Within his crossbow's range, he takes aim and starts firing. Bolt after bolt flies toward the unsuspecting beast. Thanks to the massive level difference, plenty of shots miss. Even the successful hits only deal 1 damage, but Nia Yen does not care. He brought 9,000 bolts for a reason. His entire plan is to slowly chip away from a spot where it cannot reach him. He keeps firing relentlessly as tiny damage numbers slowly eat away at the Bison Chieftain's health bar. The boss becomes furious but cannot even figure out where the attacks are coming from. Finally, it lets out an angry roar and charges toward the cliff, only to slam face first into solid rock. Bro seriously thinks brute force will work. Love to see it. Nia Yen calmly watches and mentally tells the beast to stop trying. This location is a well-known glitch spot where monsters cannot reach players because of the terrain. The Bison Chieftain is completely stuck. Safe on top of the cliff, Nia Yen keeps shooting without slowing down. Most of the bolts miss, but he only needs a handful to connect. Little by little, that giant health bar keeps shrinking. The air fills with the constant whistle of flying bolts as his ammo count keeps dropping. The whole process is painfully slow. 3 grueling hours slowly crawl by before the Bison Chieftain's health finally drops into the red. The monster lets out one final painful roar, fully aware that it is about to lose. Nia Yen is drenched in sweat and completely exhausted after repeating the exact same attack thousands of times. Taking one deep breath, he fires a final shot. The bolt flies true and lands right between the Bison Chieftain's eyes. Its health bar instantly hits 0, a boss that seemed impossible for beginners to defeat falls to a single level 0 player. A system window immediately appears. Nia Yen receives an insane 1800% experience bonus because of the massive level difference, instantly jumping to level 2. After all that patience, the brutal grind finally pays off. He quickly climbs down to check the loot. The boss drops a horn dagger, a bronze-grade weapon. Equipment in conviction ranges from common all the way to legendary and elite monsters. Barely ever drop stat gear. The odds are less than 1 in 1,000. A bronze weapon deals 20% more damage than common gear and also comes with an extra bonus stat. This level 5 dagger alone is worth at least 3 silver coins. But before selling or using it, he has to identify its hidden attributes. Just then 2 notifications pop up almost at the exact same time. His tough leather leggings sell for 8 copper coins, and he receives a call from a player named Flying Stone, a paladin he vaguely remembers from his previous life. Flying Stone appears on the call looking absolutely hyped. He excitedly explains that the farming location Nia Yen gave him is completely busted and boosts his leveling speed by 50%. He even feels guilty thinking he scammed Nia Yen by trading only one skill book for information that valuable. Nia Yen stays. Nia Yen stays calm, asking him to send over an Owl's Insight skill book if it ever drops. Flying Stone immediately agrees. Curious, he wonders how a level 0 player somehow knows about that secret spot. Nia Yen casually lies, claiming he used to play a high-level account before starting fresh. As a thief, Flying Stone instantly buys the story and becomes even more impressed, assuming Nia Yen must have been one of the top-ranked players. Changing the subject, Flying Stone asks whether Nia Yen's old account ever cleared the fallen shaman camp. He explains that his own team kept trying, but got wiped over and over, losing gear and experience every single time. Sensing easy money, Nia Yen calmly says he can provide a complete strategy guide. For clearing the camp, the price is 2 silver coins with no room for negotiation. Flying Stone is shocked Nia Yen even has a guide like that. But instead of questioning it, he becomes even more excited. He completely trusts Nia Yen and promises to convince his team captain to pay up quickly. After ending the call, Nia Yen focuses on his biggest reward. It is finally time to identify the horn dagger. He returns to town and heads straight to the appraiser shop to uncover its hidden stats. Inside, a beautiful elf appraiser, who looks more like a succubus, welcomes him. Nia Yen places the unidentified dagger on the counter, asking her to examine it. She must run a tough business, because she demands payment before even lifting a single finger. The high price shocks him, but he immediately understands what this fee means. In conviction, identification fees scale with an item's value. If it costs 10 copper just to identify, the dagger is likely worth at least 12 silver coins on the market. Without hesitating, he pays the fee. The appraiser begins her work. The results are even better than he expected. The horn dagger is a bronze-grade weapon with a level 0 requirement, granting 18 attack and 5 strength. Nia Yen cannot hide his excitement. The bonus stat rolls into 5 strength, boosting his damage even further. Its base stats are nearly 10 times better than a normal starter dagger. With a weapon like this, he feels almost unstoppable during the early game. He casually checks his abilities. Now he has a solid weapon, vital strike and stealth. He is basically built to be an assassin. The only thing he is still missing is a way to heal during long fights. Glass cannon builds are fun until someone sneezes in his direction. Thieves have 2 options for healing: potions or bandages. Potions work fast but cost a fortune. Bandages take longer but are way cheaper. He is not going broke over a scraped knee. Bandages it is. Before leaving town, he stops by the apothecary. He has a master plan cooking, and for that, he needs 2 minor underwater breathing potions. Nia Yen also learns the bandage mastery skill he has been planning to grab. With everything ready, he heads toward his next stop, Lake Rando, a remote, dangerous area. The road there is packed with monsters. Nia Yen moves like a ghost, deleting them with quick, clean strikes. These mobs get folded so fast they do not even get a chance to file a complaint. Out here, players can steal kills or start fights whenever they want. It is basically a wild GTA lobby. After a while, he reaches the fisherman village at Lake Rando. The main path cuts right through the crowded village. Nia Yen knows the risks. Storming this zone would take a raid team of at least 1,000 players. Since he is solo, stealth is the only play. He is not trying to become today's free loot drop. Just as he prepares to sneak in, a system announcement flashes. The Victorious Return Guild is clearing the area. Every non-guild player has 3 minutes to leave. These guys really act like they pay rent for the server. Seeing Victorious return brings back some seriously bad memories. Just like in his past life, they are still arrogant bullies. They claim entire zones as their own and jump anyone who refuses to leave. Nia Yen remembers them hunting him for months. This time, though, he is done playing nice. Right then and there, he decides he will settle the score one step at a time. Revenge is officially on his to-do list. Instead of leaving, Nia Yen activates stealth. His body melts into the shadows as he quietly slips through the village, passing dangerous fisherman guards like a literal ghost. Stealth breaks. A fireball explodes directly right in front of him, exposing his position. A player named Purple Blaze attacks him, but thankfully, self-defense mode activates. An elementalist from Victorious Return steps forward with a massive, smug grin, telling Nia Yen to get lost. Seeing him alone, the mage is already planning his victory speech. Nia Yen Dodges another fire attack without wasting a second. His brain is already calculating every possible move. Against a mage, he only has two choices: close the gap or run. Running, yeah, not happening. Nia Yen did not wake up today. To roleplay a marathon runner, he knows Pyrolast takes 2 seconds. To cast, and for a thief, that is basically an eternity, before the mage realizes what is happening. Nia Yen rushes forward, getting right in his face. The spell is not even halfway finished before his dagger is already flying. The mage completely loses his cool, yelling that this entire territory belongs to Victorious Return and that Nia Yen has a death wish. The guy talks like he personally coded the game. Trying to create some distance, he casts Ring of Fire. Flames explode around him in a blazing circle, catching Nia Yen inside as his health points start melting from the heat. The mage probably thinks he has this in the bag, but without hesitating, Nia Yen drinks a minor recovery potion and his health points shoot right back up. The mage watches his entire game plan completely uninstall in real time. This is the moment Nia Yen has been waiting for. Instead of backing away, he walks straight through the flames to land another clean hit. The mage instantly goes from confident to realizing this is off script. It is over. Nia Yen has broken through his defenses and is about to finish him off. While watching Nia Yen burn, the mage quickly checks both health bars, figuring the thief must be almost dead. Meanwhile, he is sitting at 51 health points. Now it is a race against time. If he lands one more fireball, he wins. At least that is what he keeps telling himself. Purple Blaze screams that this is the price for challenging Victorious Return, desperately throwing out another fireball, but he completely rushes the shot. That sloppy aim is about as reliable as a random teammate in ranked. Nia Yen casually sidesteps the attack like he is dodging a puddle. At that exact moment, his dagger glows with dark crimson light as he unleashes a fierce vital strike. The blade plunges deep. Purple Blaze is left entirely frozen. He just stands there, buffering. His body slowly breaks into pixels. He genuinely cannot process how a level 2 thief survived his strongest spells. Nia Yen just smiles. The defeated mage begins to fade away. The truth clicks. Nia Yen used an instant recovery potion. But a solo level 2 player should never have that much gold. Nia Yen calmly tells him he can think about it while respawning. Without wasting another second, he quickly snatches the fallen items. It is a level 2 bronze staff. There is no time to celebrate. He already knows the rest of the guild is about to arrive. Other guild members spot Purple Blaze dying and immediately sound the alarm. They shout orders to surround and capture the low-level killer. He basically triggered an emergency meeting for the whole area. Nia Yen bolts toward the lake as the guild's warriors give chase. One warrior laughs, shouting that there is no way he can escape. This guy acts like a final boss despite his friend getting crushed. A fighter charges in and swings a massive greatsword with full force. He screams that Nia Yen is finished, but that slow swing completely misses. Nia Yen casually sidesteps the attack, leaving the warrior completely frozen. The warrior cannot believe a low-level thief dodged his guaranteed hit. He clearly put all his stat points into strength and ignored accuracy. Reaching the edge of the cliff, Nia Yen pulls out an underwater breathing potion. He bought this earlier, and the guild members instantly realize his plan. They all start yelling as the warriors activate their movement skills. The physical classes rush forward, desperately trying to block his path. Before they can reach him, Nia Yen glances back with a smirk. He watches as the entire chasing squad ends up tripping over themselves. They end up doing more damage to each other than he ever could. While he heals up with cheap bandages, a panicked warrior nervously reports. The target has escaped into the lake. The leader demands to know. They must get Purple Blaze's report and find the thief's player ID. Purple Blaze hands over the name Nirvana Flame, fueling the leader's rage. While they swear revenge, Nia Yen swims deeper into the quiet waters below. Safe beneath the surface, he finally lets out a slow, quiet breath. He escaped the guild successfully. Now it is time for his real goal. He remembers a hidden treasure chest resting somewhere beneath these waters. With memories from his past life, finding it is completely effortless. Moments later, hidden beneath the thick seaweed, he spots his prize. Inside the chest sits a special fisherman's water-repelling pearl. This item allows him to breathe underwater for 30 minutes. It is not incredibly rare, but it is absolutely clutch for his plan. Right as he stores it away, a sharp trident slices past his face. There goes the piece. Nia Yen has wandered straight into danger. He stepped into a fisherman's den, and creatures immediately surround him. Fighting them underwater on their home turf is basically volunteering to become seafood. Nia Yen quickly looks up, then it clicks. The noise he made has already alerted the Fishman tribe on shore. At the exact same time, Victorious Return is still busy raiding the Fishman village, completely clueless that another angry army is about to arrive. Nia Yen swims up, leading the furious Fishman straight toward the guild. Congratulations, they have successfully unlocked the consequences of their own actions. Nia Yen silently thanks Victorious Return for clearing the path, while both sides are busy throwing spells and absolutely zero critical thinking. He quietly slips away toward his real destination. Just like that, a few minutes later, he climbs onto the island and takes a deep breath. Everything goes exactly according to plan. Then suddenly a scream echoes across the island. Nia Yen immediately turns toward the sound, then freezes. Pink hair, it is Yao Yao, the holy mage from his old party, out of every place. In the game, fate really decided to cook today. He cannot believe they meet again. This soon, memories of his previous life instantly come flooding back. All the battles they fought together, all those warm campfire moments, seeing her again almost feels like fate. Back in the present, he sees Yao Yao struggling in the water while 3 water spiders gang up on her. Without thinking twice, he dives straight back into the water. Reaching her in seconds, he immediately lands vital strike on one of the spiders, caught completely off guard by the sudden rescue. Yao Yao quickly regains her focus and fires off holy judgment at another spider. His dagger and her holy magic land at exactly the same time. The synergy is so clean, you would think they have been practicing together for years. Within moments, the water spiders are completely wiped out. When the last monster disappears, Yao Yao finally makes it back to shore and warmly thanks him. Nia Yen just shrugs it off like it is no big deal, introducing himself by his in-game name, Nirvana Flame. Yao Yao softly repeats the name. Something about it feels strangely familiar. It instantly reminds her of someone from her real life. Nia Yen, she quietly wonders if they are the same person. What are the odds? She introduces herself properly as Yao Yao since he just saved her life. She smiles, suggesting they add each other as friends to repay him someday. Nia Yen accepts without hesitation. Just like that, one of the most important connections from his previous life is back. Nia Yen smiles and asks what she is doing out on this random island. Yao Yao explains she is farming water spiders for their water sacs. Coincidentally, Nia Yen is hunting the exact same monsters for a different drop. He is after fine silk, and since they are already farming the same mobs, he suggests they form a party. Yao Yao agrees immediately. Honestly, that is probably the fastest party invite anyone has ever accepted. Then she suddenly opens a trade window. Without saying much, she hands over all the fine silk she has already collected as a thank you. He was not expecting payment. He was expecting a simple thanks. Instead, he gets loot. The trade goes through, and Nia Yen receives 12 spools of fine silk. At current market rates, they are worth around 36 copper coins for a brand new player, which is actually a pretty crazy sum. Yao Yao insists it is nothing compared to someone saving her life. Besides, she does not even need the silk. Nia Yen pauses a moment before accepting a free upgrade is still a free upgrade, but before they can continue talking, boom, the lake suddenly explodes. Water erupts everywhere as a massive figure slowly rises from beneath the surface. Water Spider Lord, a chieftain-level boss. A chieftain is not something to low-level players are supposed to fight. This thing is basically the ultimate neighborhood bully on steroids. Running would have been the smart option, but too bad they do not get one. A notification pops up confirming their party is officially formed. The battle begins. Nia Yen does not hesitate for even a second. He rushes straight at the boss and immediately activates his vital strike skill. The attack lands clean, and Yao Yao instantly follows up with holy judgment. Brilliant beam of holy light crashes into the giant spider, dealing heavy damage and making the boss stagger. The massive water spider lord screeches in anger before swinging one of its razor-sharp legs toward Yao Yao. Nia Yen warns her just in time. She reacts instantly and barely avoids getting turned into spider food. Seeing the boss shift its attention, Nia Yen immediately swaps to his crossbow. he tells Yao Yao he will keep the boss busy while she focuses entirely on dealing damage. Several bolts fly straight into the spider's eyes. Critical annoyance achieved. The boss immediately locks onto Nia Yen. While the boss chases him around, Yao Yao starts unloading every powerful spell she has. Holy light rains down in one attack after another, and the water spider lord's HP starts disappearing faster than a paycheck on payday. Then a massive beam of holy light slams into the boss. Critical hit. That spider just felt its ancestors flinch. The combined damage is simply too much. The gigantic chieftain lets out one final roar before collapsing into the lake, its enormous body slowly sinking beneath the surface. Silence returns to the island. Yao Yao just stands there completely speechless. She cannot explain what just happened. The chieftain-level boss got taken down by two low-level players, and somehow it did not even feel difficult. Fighting beside Nia Yen feels unbelievably natural. Their teamwork is so smooth. You would think they had been duo queuing since launch. Nia Yen notices the thoughtful look on her face and casually asks what she is thinking about. Startled, she quickly shakes her head, saying it is nothing before smiling and complimenting his incredible skills. She cannot understand why someone this strong is still playing solo. Most players would have joined a top guild by now. Nia Yen simply smiles. He is used to fighting alone, always has been. Hearing that immediately gives Yao Yao an idea. A hopeful smile spreads across her face as she tells him her group is getting ready to raid Treant Forest and asks if he would like to join. He straight up asks her how many shield warriors her squad has, and more importantly, how much defense and HP they are packing. Sounds like average gamer yapping, right? Nah, for Nia Yen this is low-key life or death info. He already knows the Treant Forest is built different. Yao Yao tries to. She asks him for help, explaining that their squad has 2 shield warriors. Both have 53 defense and 230 health. To normal players, those stats look decent, but to Nia Yen that is an absolute joke. He does the math instantly, realizing this squad is walking straight into a wipeout. 1 critical hit, deleted, faster than bad Wi-Fi. Their priest cannot save them either. You cannot heal a corpse. Yao Yao is completely stunned. No way should anyone know these stats already, especially since the game literally just launched. But Nia Yen cannot admit he time traveled. Now Yao Yao starts stressing. Getting bronze defense gear to hit 60 defense this early is basically pure RNG bullying. For any normal team, it is impossible. But Nia Yen already has the recipe, so he asks to lead them. Imagine some random thief showing up and demanding to run things. Yet after everything she has seen, she actually considers it. She promises to convince the group, even though it will be tough. Leading a raid as some random stranger is a brutal task. Still, they decide to check the loot drops, and they are actually fire. Yao Yao uses her appraisal skill to inspect the gear. Nia Yen raises an eyebrow at her skill. That skill is incredibly rare. The item turns out to be fine silk gauntlets, which are perfect starter gear for a mage. Since he wants to build goodwill instead of being a greedy loot goblin, he immediately hands the gauntlets to Yao Yao, but he gets something too. He finds a skill book called Assassinate, which is completely cracked. Yao Yao is thoroughly impressed by both his skill and his generosity. Then out of nowhere, a sudden system notification pops up on screen. The game is shutting down in 3 minutes, telling everyone to go touch grass. They say goodbye, promising to meet up next time and log out as digital light. The scene shifts back to reality. Nia Yen wakes up in his bed, still clutching his virtual reality helmet. He realizes that while he is getting completely stacked in the game, in real life he is still built like a fragile walking toothpick. His thoughts drift to Kaosu, the monster who ruined his past. If he wants to survive what is coming, in-game power is not enough. He must build up his real body, too. Walking out of the house, life decides to spawn a chaotic random event. A massive truck comes speeding down the street, its tires screaming louder than a horror movie. Nia Yen loses his balance and falls. Suddenly, a girl runs over to help him. It is Yao Yao. She quickly checks him over, lightly scolding him for being so careless. She says she has a first aid kit in her car and runs off to grab it. While she is gone, Nia Yen watches. The heavy memories hit him hard. She is not just some teammate. She is the one person he deeply regrets losing. Back then, he was too scared to confess because of her connection to him, Kaosu's Financial empire eventually targeted her too, driving her to a breakdown. Now she gently cleans his small cuts while scolding him for her carelessness, but when their eyes meet, Nia Yen smiles and Zai Yao immediately blushes, her mind completely short-circuiting. She quickly looks away and wonders if he is even listening, but Nia Yen calmly says she can always rely on him to take care of her. Flustered, she quickly turns around and mutters that she would never actually want to take care of someone like him, before saying goodbye. But once inside her car, she steals a glance back at him, starting to wonder if Nia Yen could actually be that legendary mysterious player known as Nirvana Flame. He just seems different now, way more confident. Meanwhile, Nia Yen watches her drive away, genuinely happy to see her again. She is still just as sweet and charming as he remembers, but his warm expression fades fast as his dark thoughts return to Kaosu. He knows that monster will eventually try to ruin his life again. That is exactly why he must grow stronger in conviction as fast as possible. Right then, his phone suddenly buzzes. It is Tang Yao. When Nia Yen answers, Tang Yao immediately starts yelling like he has been buffering for 2 whole days. He demands to know why his best friend has been ghosting him, orders him to meet up right now. Nia Yen is surprised for a second. He just smiles softly for a moment. He tells his friend that he is actually happy to hear his voice again as old memories start flooding back. Tang Yao was his closest friend in his past life. Back when Nia Yan's world fell completely apart, Tang Yao secretly helped him, constantly carrying him through the worst times. Behind the scenes, he even risked getting caught by Kaosu's thugs. Because of Tang Yao, Nia Yan's miserable days became a little more bearable, but his buddy is still addicted to chasing girls like it is a full-time job. In Nia Yan's previous life, Tang Yao got into a stupid bar brawl over some girl and ended up provoking someone far above his leg. In the end, he was brutally beaten and left to die in a dark alley. This time, Nia Yen refuses to let that tragedy happen again. Soon they meet on the street, and Tang Yao immediately throws him in a playful headlock like normal, acting completely wild and chaotic. The two friends start chatting about the game. Nia Yen casually mentions he is currently a level 2 thief. Tang Yao is completely dumbfounded by this news, especially since reaching level 2 this early is definitely not normal. But then, Tang Yao proudly flexes that he is already a level 3 arcane mage, acting like he wasn't just stunned. He was just seconds ago. After that, they head over to the PK bar. It is a high-tech spot where players connect to simulators and duel each other using their in-game characters. The place is part high-end internet cafe, part competitive arena, and basically where egos go to clash. Tang Yao loves coming here to bet on matches, even though the guy is basically just donating his money. At this point, and of course, trouble immediately walks in. A guy named Wei Kai enters with his crew. The second he spots Tang Yao, he starts mocking him, asking if he came back just to throw away more of his money. Tang Yao is visibly annoyed, but he is also weirdly amused, because this garbage talk is nothing new. Then Wei Kai spots Nia Yen and sneers, asking if the beating he got last time was not enough. Turns out Nia Yen has a bad history here. Tang Yao quickly steps in, warning Wei Kai that as long as he is around, absolutely nobody touches his friend. But Wei Kai notices something is different. Nia Yen does not look scared at all. Instead, Nia Yen looks incredibly confident, like he just got a major personality upgrade. Soon, Tang Yao enters a simulator pod to face Wei Kai, betting 200 credits around. It is like he is not even risking his own rent money. The duel begins, a level 3 mage versus a level 3 berserker. Nia Yen immediately reads the situation perfectly using his advanced analysis skills. The berserker has a charge skill, while the mage relies on distance. But the battlefield is completely flat and open, basically a death trap. In this open arena, the berserker can easily close the distance. He can quickly delete the mage. After analyzing this, Nia Yen already knows Tang Yao is going to lose. Right then, a smug opponent approaches. One of Wei Kai's friends mocks Nia Yen, saying his buddy is toast. He asks if Nia Yen wants to step in. Nia Yen looks at him calmly. He says they will only play a single round, and only if the bet is high. The challenger gets highly annoyed by this attitude, in a fit of arrogance. He raises the bet to 700 credits, promising to teach Nia Yen a lesson. He is 100% sure of an easy win. The crowd shifts focus. Everyone stares at the screen as a new match loads. Nia Yen, a level 2 wind thief, faces off against Xiang, a level 2 ranger. The the simulation begins. A random map appears, the bamboo forest. Xiang spawns onto the field. For a split second, they lock eyes, but Nia Yen instantly activates stealth. He completely vanishes. Xiang activates his skills and begins searching. He runs through the bamboo, scanning every single corner, but there is nothing. Not even a trace. His expected easy win is turning into a nightmare. His opponent has literally evaporated. From high above, Nia Yen spots his target. He looks down on Xiang with absolute focus, with 10 years of experience. Concealing his presence is pure second nature, in a single breath. Nia Yen appears directly behind his prey. This is not a duel, it is an execution. Nia Yan's dagger flashes with lethal energy as he strikes. Xiang's health instantly drops from 110 to 70. Xiang spins around in absolute panic. He desperately tries to counter, totally clueless as to how Nia Yen got behind him. But the match is already over, as Xiang's strike nears Nia Yan's face. Nia Yen calmly whispers that it is already over. Vital strike deals 70 damage. Xiang's character straight up drops to the dirt. The duel ends in a blink. The gaming lounge vibe instantly flips to pure, unadulterated shock, a massive knockout. Flashes on the screen. Meanwhile, Nia Yen is just chilling inside his pod. It is like he just finished a basic tutorial, not a high-stakes duel. On the other side, Xiang sits frozen in his pod, drenched in sweat. His eyes are wide. Honestly, can you blame him? He just witnessed a horror speedrun. He keeps replaying the match on a loop, wondering how that even happened. He asks himself, since when did Nia Yen become this terrifying? He remembers the old version of him, quiet, timid, always swallowing his anger. Now a completely different beast stands there. The old Nia Yen is gone. Nia Yen casually asks Tang Yao how his match went, already knowing the answer. Tang Yao sighs deeply, admitting he got absolutely wrecked and lost 2 rounds. Losing 1,200 credits is absolute agony for a poor student. He explains that his opponent Wei Kai got a skill called Berserker's Anti-Magic Aura. Tang Yao is frustrated because it hard counters his arcane mage build. To him, the match felt completely unwinnable, but Nia Yen just shakes his head and calmly explains that the Anti-Magic Aura only reduces a tiny bit of spell damage. It is not as broken as people think if spell timing is done right. A Berserker is actually beatable. Suddenly, Tang Yao realizes he messed up. He admits he did not time his spells, leaving everything on cooldown. So the Berserker just rushed him down and finished him. He looks at Nia Yen, totally confused, wondering when he learned this. Nia Yen just casually. He shows off the 1 cash. Tang Yao eyes him with pure shock, asking if he actually won all that. Then the mood flips as some angry bullies show up. Salty energy fills the room. One bully threatens to teach Nia Yen a lesson. For taking their cash, things escalate instantly as the guy swings at Nia Yen. In real life, but Nia Yen does not even flinch, catching his fist midair. He redirects the force cleanly and slams the guy straight into the floor. The guy crashes hard and screams, talk about instant karma. Nia Yen just stands calm, remembering how his past life training prepared his body to survive these situations and handle tough enemies like Cao Shu. Right behind him, Tang Yao is completely stunned, wondering when his friend got this strong. Meanwhile, the other bullies start getting nervous. Someone whispers they should stop messing with him because he is clearly not normal. Even their boss notices the change in Nia Yen. When the boss asks if he beat up his man, Nia Yen just leans back with crossed arms, saying they were only playing and his guy was pretty weak. That insult lands hard, showing straight disrespect in front of the boss, so the leader challenges Nia Yen to a duel, and he agrees. But only with high stakes. The challenger sets it at 1,000 credits per round, 3,000 total. Tang Yao instantly starts panicking and points out it is unfair, a level 3 Berserker versus level 2 Thief. But Nia Yen raises 3 fingers, 3,000 per round, literally tripling the bet. The challenger pauses, then laughs, confident that it is free money. Tang Yao grabs Nia Yan's shoulder, reminding him he does not even have that cash. Nia Yen calmly admits he does not, which is why he is borrowing from Tang Yao. Tang Yao panics but sighs and agrees anyway, trusting him completely. The system kicks in. They enter the game. The screen shifts to versus Nia Yen versus the Berserker on a wide open grassland map. Tang Yao instantly loses hope. This open map is absolutely terrible for a thief. No shadows, nowhere to hide, pure nightmare mode. The opponent even offers to change the map to mock him, but Nia Yen declines. They will fight Here, Nia Yen activates stealth and fades. The berserker scans carefully, watching the grass, believing any movement will expose Nia Yen, but he knows he is at a major disadvantage, so he decides to borrow an external force like the wind. The wind picks up, making the berserker swing his giant sword into moving grass. Miss, he has honestly never seen anyone master stealth like this. Meanwhile, Nia Yan patiently waits for the next gust of wind to strike. The berserker thinks the kid has to be moving slowly to stay hidden. He tries to avoid showing weaknesses, but the wind rises and Nia Yen is behind him. Wei Kai panics, spinning in a wild whirlwind to push him back. But Nia Yen has already slipped away, calmly watching. He knows the skill cooldown. There is a 1-second gap right after that spin. That is his opening. Wei Kai stands exposed, time freezes, Nia Yen lunges, landing a vital strike. Spectators gasp in shock, screaming that this is impossible. Perfect timing, Wei Kai's health plummets, leaving him just one hit away from death. Furious and cornered, he raises his greatsword to trigger his absolute final move. A flame slash, his heavy blade ignites as he swings down with all his might. Tong Yao panics, screaming at him to dodge the attack right now. But Nia Yen stands firm. Close quarters are still his playground as a thief. Besides, his health is high enough to tank a hit to keep his position. Raising his weapon, he blocks the heavy blow. Wei Kai grinds his teeth. He is furious that a mere thief dared to tank his ultimate skill so easily. Driven by rage, he immediately chains it into a sweeping wave of energy. He charges right behind it to keep his devastating combo going. Tong Yao watches. Her heart sinks. That charge carries a stun that could ruin everything. Just one more solid hit will end this fight. Nearby, Wei Kai's lackey laughs. He mocks Nia Yen, thinking the thief is only acting tough before he dies. But right in the middle of the onslaught, Nia Yen makes his move. He cleanly slips past the incoming strike, tightening his grip on his dagger. Nia Yen knows that charge skill has a shorter reach than his own weapon. He goes for the counter, and both players strike at once. The brutal impact of the clash forces both of them backward. Wei Kai's health drops straight to 0 as he falls, utterly stunned. Nia Yen is thrown back. But he manages to stabilize himself, planting his dagger deep into the dirt. A system alert flashes, confirming Nia Yen's victory. Tong Yao gasps. She is thrilled by the outcome, while Wei Kai's lackeys stand frozen in shock. Pulling off his gaming helmet, Wei Kai can only stare in pure disbelief. The moment Nia Yen steps out of his game pod, Tong Yao rushes over. She is completely blown away that he overcame such a massive level gap. When she asks to learn the arcane mage class, Nia Yen happily agrees. He promises to teach her everything. Soon, Wei Kai approaches with his crew. Instead of throwing a tantrum, he surprisingly accepts his loss with quiet grace. Keeping his cool, he invites Nia Yen to hang out at his bar sometime. He leaves with his group. Later, one of his subordinates questions his friendliness. Wei Kai explains that Nia Yen's potential is just too massive. Making an enemy out of someone like him would be a huge mistake. Nia Yen and Tong Yao head out, planning to feast on today's massive earnings. He promises they will discuss her arcane mage training back in the game. That night, Nia Yen works out in his room, appreciating his youthful body. After a solid rest, he gets ready to log back into Conviction. He remembers his promise to run Trent Forest with Yai's team. Once logged in, multiple alerts pop up. One is a new friend request. Another shows a silver coin deposit and a message from Flying Stone. Conquered, dungeon cleared. Now he asks for guidance on the next zone. Nia Yen accepts, realizing Bosi is his friend. Tang Yao, he wants him in, but he also decides to wait. Against sharing more guides, it is because much info too fast would only draw unwanted eyes. Then Nia Yen spots a hidden quest trigger, Physician Blevins wants collected fine silks. Nia Yen hands over 30 pieces for an intermediate skill, Combat Bandage. It heals using silk, but requires channeling. It can be easily interrupted, still after handing them over, the quest progress is only partial, a chain quest. Exactly, Physician Blevins confirms that even more silks are still needed. Required, Nia Yen accepts the follow-up task, fully recognizing this quest line is massive. Soon, a message arrives from Yao Yao. The group is ready. They wait at the town teleport. Point Tang Yao is impatient. Then Nia Yen arrives. Yao Yao and her squad show up. Everyone stares. They are a massive bunch. Group seeing all those gorgeous girls makes Tang Yao act like a puppy. But everyone happily ignores his antics. Yao Yao explains that persuading Yulan took real work. They absolutely must not lose any face on this run, but Chenbo already hates Nia Yen's involvement. Yulan steps up. Can he really lead them through the demon forest? Nia Yen confidently promises they will clear it. He takes charge immediately. He is the new captain and he expects total obedience. This creates instant, heavy tension among them. Chenbo snaps. He openly challenges the decision, questioning Nia Yen's authority and reliability, expressing deep worry about risking the entire team. Yulan glares at Chenbo. She is sick of his constant nonsense. Calls him out. This was agreed on beforehand. Why is he trying? Pulling a cheap stunt now. Chenbo looks completely shocked and angry. He fires back at Yulan, completely baffled. Why defend him? Some random outsider. Yulan ignores him and turns toward Nirvana Flame. Her tone shifts. Respectful, she apologizes sincerely. On Chenbo's behalf, form the team. She will handle the rest and make everyone join. Nirvana Flame stays calm. He lays the rules down straight. If he leads, everyone obeys. 100%, no arguments. Debates got issues. Deal with him later. If they don't like it, they can leave, but play dirty during the run or mess up, causing a total wipe. He will show absolutely zero mercy. He is not playing. Then he forms the team. He immediately sends out invites one by one. Notifications pop up nonstop. Everyone is joining. Yulan watches. Calmly warns the group. Nirvana Flame's orders are basically her. Now try to act funny and you will be cut off from her squad forever. Chenbo, seeing this, has no choice but to join in. He is suspicious but goes along. Nirvana Flame reminds them their mission is extremely simple. Clear the Treant Forest. He points out that besides, since they are all on the same side, there is no point in acting hostile and risking a total wipe. He even promises that if his bad calls cause errors, he will pay everyone 10 silver coins. Yao Yao and the others are stunned by the promise. Yulan wonders where Tang Yao even found this guy, who is way too confident and bold, and maybe actually capable of leading them. Tang Yao just smiles, insisting he always knew Nirvana Flame could do it. Nirvana Flame then shifts into full commander mode and orders everyone to report their names and stats, starting with the Shield Warriors. Boiled Water steps up first, introducing himself as a Shield Warrior. He handles the main tank role. Next, multiple players report their stats, and the process continues for a while. After hearing their details, Nirvana Flame instantly starts giving out prep orders. He commands Boiled Water to buy haste potion and orders Pumpkin to grab a strength potion. Boiled Water is immediately anxious, stressing that it costs too much, and Pumpkin agrees that even clearing the dungeon won't cover the expenses. Chumbo squints in doubt, believing this guy is wasting gold just to play pretend. Tang Yao jumps right in, fiercely roasting Chumbo for talking too much and mockingly clowning him for being too broke to buy potions. Chumbo instantly flares up and screams right back at him. Yao Yao grows worried, asking Nirvana Flame if they actually need these expensive buffs for normal mode, since they might not make their money back. Nirvana Flame smiles, saying they will understand soon enough why this is a smart investment. Yulan then commands Boiled Water and Pumpkin to follow his directions. Once everyone is ready, they set off under his leadership, arriving at the Treant Forest gate where a massive stone monument stands surrounded by swirling mystical winds. He tells them to wait patiently while he unlocks the dungeon. Stepping forward, he places his hand on the rock, activating glowing ancient runes. A mysterious warning echoes out concerning legendary forest walkers, Dawnlight, Shepherd Flutes, and Sleeping Souls. A Luna system screen flashes, asking for the dungeon difficulty. Without any hesitation, he selects Expert difficulty, instantly teleporting the entire group inside. The system announces the chosen difficulty, and absolute chaos erupts immediately. Pumpkin panics instantly, shouting to know what is happening and why they entered Expert difficulty. Yulan grows tense, silently realizing this rogue might have planned this all along rather than making a mistake. Chumbo straight up loses his mind, accusing Nirvana Flame of trying to get them killed and force a wipe just to drain their experience. Nirvana Flame stays incredibly calm and replies that since he brought them in, he can lead them out safely, and anyone unhappy is free to leave the party. Chumbo tries to shout back, but Yao Yao quickly shuts him down, defending Nirvana Flame and telling Chumbo to stop harassing him. Chumbo freezes in pure irritation that she supports him. Never expecting her to stand up for the guy, Nirvana Flame explains calmly that expert mode only increases monster health by 30%. Shield. Tanks need slightly more defense, while mages need higher damage. That is all. He will adjust tactics for the boss later. Yulan listens quietly, thinking he makes it sound too simple, because even minor stat gaps in dungeons can easily snowball into a wipe, let alone 30%. Yao Yao nervously asks if he is actually confident, but before she can finish, Nirvana Flame tells her to relax. Chenbo watches closely. He is waiting, hoping this guy completely fails expert mode. Together, they move forward into the forest, and a strong wind begins to howl. Suddenly, massive vines burst. From the dirt, Nirvana Flame instantly shouts a warning, telling everyone. They enter the attack zone and to scatter, but it is already too late. Thick vines lash out and wrap tightly around Chenbo's arms and legs, pinning him down. A root digs deep into the ground, and a massive tree monster emerges, towering over the group. Panic spreads instantly as the vines drag Chenbo forward. The guy panics, screaming for help and begging Captain Nirvana Flame to save him as he gets pulled in. The giant plant monster sprints forward with zero chill, literally dragging Chenbo along. While he screams for his life on a live stream, Nirvana Flame immediately takes command, shouting rapid-fire orders. The shield warriors step up and brace themselves, holding their ground with shields raised, trying to push back a literal giant walking plant. Meanwhile, the mages blast it with magic spells, hitting hard and triggering a massive explosion that deletes the tree demon's health straight to zero. The vines finally loosen, dropping Chenbo, who hits the dirt and gets up, absolutely furious, immediately blaming Nirvana Flame, shouting that he did it on purpose. He keeps ranting that Nirvana Flame saw the tree demon earlier, but kept quiet, acting like he did not just get completely wrecked in 4K. Nirvana Flame snaps back, telling Chenbo to get his facts straight. Everyone saw the monster at the exact same time, and even the tank players dodged. He failed. He clearly has zero awareness. Tong Yao jumps in to roast him even harder, saying his excuses are pure comedy. At this point, claiming random street players would easily play better than him. Yu Lan steps in calmly, telling Chenbo he is only embarrassing himself, now leaving him completely stunned and incredibly frustrated. Nirvana Flame then switches back to commander mode, ordering everyone forward while warning that dark elf traps are hidden all over the forest. He adds that he'll clear the path himself, throwing in a savage comment about teaching Chenbo how to actually play a thief. The team moves quickly through the woods, with Nirvana Flame in the lead. Suddenly, a massive branch swings down. Nirvana Flame reacts instantly, yelling a warning before leaping between trees like a gymnast, dodging easily. More traps activate as he moves forward, with arrows firing from hidden spots, but he slips past them effortlessly. A tripwire drops from above, and he slices it midair. Tong Yao watches in pure shock, realizing this guy is actually insane. At playing a thief, Yu Lan is equally stunned by his incredible trap-clearing skills. From behind, Chenbo gets jealous and charges forward, yelling that it is nothing special and he can do it too. Watch this backfire. The second his foot touches the ground, the dirt collapses and he plummets straight into a hidden pit trap, screaming that he is completely doomed. Before things get any worse, Nirvana Flame casually grabs his leg and pulls him free. He tosses him safely onto solid ground and calmly calls him out. He says he is the absolute worst thief he has ever seen. Chenbo is fuming and accuses Nirvana Flame of framing him. Chenbo acts like the forest is personally targeting him on purpose, crying foul at everything. Tanyao immediately shuts that down, saying Chenbo would have been dead by now if Nirvana Flame had not saved him. Nirvana Flame just drops some cold, hard logic. He stepped on the trap himself without being pushed, making this blame game totally useless. Then he adds that Chenbo is not cut out for the thief class at all. Chenbo completely loses it. He points his sword, furiously demanding a duel and screaming in pure rage. Nirvana Flame calmly catches the incoming blade between just 2 fingers. He says if Chenbo wants a duel, he better bring some serious backup. Otherwise, it will be too boring. Xiang instantly grows tense as Yulan steps in. She tells Chenbo that he was the one who triggered the trap himself. She says he is just lashing out unfairly. Tanyao adds that Nirvana Flame saved him. Yet he is still acting like an ungrateful jerk. Chenbo keeps insisting it is all Nirvana Flame's fault, complaining about choosing outsiders over teammates. The shield warrior finally shuts him down, pointing out how he targeted Nirvana Flame. He had been doing it this entire time, and everyone saw through it. Chenbo laughs bitterly, curses them all, and Rage quits the party in a huff. He says he will watch them fail without him. Yao Yao then steps in, feeling terrible and apologizing to Nirvana Flame for bringing him along, but he responds calmly that it is actually much better, without dead weight around. He is already planning to build his own team. Yulan then speaks up, saying they need to focus on clearing the dungeon. Half an hour later, Nirvana Flame returns from stealth scouting to report that their path is blocked. 18 tree demons are waiting ahead, making Yulan react in instant panic. That is way too many to fight, but Nirvana Flame stays completely unbothered. He tells them to relax since he is not dumb enough to pull them all. He leaps up onto a thick branch and pulls a crossbow from his storage. Get ready because he is about to show everyone what real god-tier archery is. Nirvana Flame raises his custom 3-shot hand crossbow without a word. This legendary weapon is insanely overpowered as he instantly lets 3 bolts fly. They hit with absolutely disgusting precision. Boiled water watches in total disbelief, already starting to doubt reality itself as the shield warriors freeze, standing there in sheer disbelief. If those bolts trigger the tree demons, the squad is done for. Nirvana Flame drops down clean. It is time for boss demon mode. He orders boiled water to move quickly into the designated combat positions. The bolts strike separate zones, pulling the tree demons towards specific spots. The final arrow tags a target cleanly, completely shattering its peaceful state. It shaves off 1 health point and instantly pulls aggressive threat over. Yulan freezes. She cannot believe the insane skill on display. Splitting aggro across 3 zones with 1 shot is not normal gameplay. This is myth-tier mechanics. She turns to Yao Yao to ask where on earth she found this godlike player, since 18 tree demons should have wiped them. A total team wipe waiting to happen. 1 wrong alert would trigger the whole forest. Yao Yao is completely stunned because the guy she rejected is actually built on another level. The squad charges through the gap while boiled water holds the front. He is basically playing like an unkillable bonus character. Then Nirvana Flame takes charge. He fires off commands like a true boss. The team immediately splits up. They move in a highly coordinated speedrun. The angry tree monster targets boiled water, but he stands his ground, realizing mid-fight that Nirvana Flame's strategy actually works. Yulan yells for him to hang tight while the rest finish off their targets. The whole squad swarms the last tree monster like a ruthless gang. A final blow shatters the beast, dropping tons of loot. Ulan gets excited. Instantly, everyone celebrates because this is way more loot than ordinary monsters. Dumbfounded, Yo-Yo stares at Nirvana Flame, shocked he just speedrun reality itself. When she asks how, Nirvana Flame just casually flexes his skills. He casually mentions he promised to carry them through this expert dungeon. He sets the tone, same method, full clear strategy. They repeat the cycle. Using controlled lures and isolated kills, they wipe the entire forest in 20 minutes. The area is completely cleared. The squad gathers the loot and takes a quick break. Honestly, they just realized they got carried through a complete nightmare zone. But when a shadow creeps up behind them, Nirvana Flame notices it instantly. His awareness is unmatched. He stands up, warning them that the real challenge lies ahead. The best rewards are deeper inside. After resting, they head out and reach a fork. Nirvana Flame chooses west, but Yulan immediately objects, pointing toward the east. She claims the west is a dead end, but Nirvana Flame just smiles. He calmly shuts her down, secretly tracking a hidden quest line instead. It is a secret path no one else knows about. They head west anyway. Deep inside the forest, a strange, echoing sound drifts through the thick trees. Yulan wonders if it is a flute, but Nirvana Flame instantly locks in. He found him Ian Pat, the forest guardian and shepherd of the trees. The guardian is tied to an ancient balance, shattered by invading dark elves. This invasion triggered pure chaos. Soon, the squad meets an old man. He warns them that the forest is highly lethal, especially when night falls. Nirvana Flame politely explains they came specifically to purge the corruption. The old shepherd grows deeply emotional and angry, cursing the underground invaders. He blames the underground creatures for stealing his flute and ruining the forest. Yulan instantly realizes this is a rare, hidden quest character activation. She is utterly shocked, while Tong Yao also wonders how he found this. He knows exactly how to trigger the next stage of the quest. Playing along, he mentions the hidden threats to push the narrative forward. The shepherd gasps, confirming that dark elves stole it. He hands over a unique item, called the Dust of Appearance, to help. It reveals hidden enemies nearby, triggering a special dungeon alert screen. With the item secured, Nirvana Flame grabs a nearby rope to descend. He glides down effortlessly, signaling his stunned team to follow him. Yulan asks if he can really find the elves, but he just smiles. They reach a dark cave entrance, and he whispers that the targets are cornered inside. Elves Yao Yao asks how he knows, and Nirvana Flame basically exposes the truth. They have been shadowing the group since the beginning. Everyone looks. Round shocked, Nirvana Flame glances into the pitch-black darkness and calmly drops the final line, "They are here." Nirvana Flame clocks those two dark elves and instantly realizes they are actually cowards. Nirvana Flame tells the squad they must defeat both of them in one clean combo, or those sneaky NPCs will run away faster than college students dodging a tough group project. Meanwhile, the dark elves stay hidden in the shadows, stalking the squad from behind as everyone pushes deeper into the cave. The moment the timing looks absolutely perfect, Nirvana Flame tosses the Dust of Appearance he got from Shepard. He smirks because the bait actually works. The dust spreads everywhere and exposes the hidden elves in plain sight. They instantly panic and try to run for it, but boiled water dumplings and Tang Yao are already blocking them. One elf lunges at Tang Yao with razor-sharp claws, but boiled water dumplings warns. Not today, blocking the attack with his shield. At the same time, Tang Yao charges a massive fireball in his hand and lobs it straight into its face. The poor creature lets out a painful screech after getting blasted. Yulan rushes in with the rest of the squad because standing around is simply not on their agenda today. Everyone jumps the elves together, ready to deliver some massive karma. The second elf still tries to fight back, but Nirvana Flame enters the fight. He casually sidesteps because to him, the creature is moving in slow motion, landing vital strikes straight across its neck for incredibly high damage. The squad keeps chaining attacks one after another until Yulan secures the final hit, sending both elves back to the lobby. Suddenly, something drops onto the ground. Nirvana Flame spots it immediately. Finally, he gets exactly what he came for, picking it up with a huge grin because with this flute, clearing the tree demon forest will be incredibly easy. Right then, Yao Yao notices something else and calls everyone over. Nirvana Flame walks over, picks it up, realizing it is a letter from the dark elf Alasna, brave warrior who has been providing intel. The Drow tribe plans to launch a counterattack on Hilton Fortress, and once that happens, our boy is heading back to the battlefield. Suddenly, another system notification pops up. It tells them to deliver this secret letter to Warlord Kavarat and warn him about the Drow tribe's counterattack. Yao Yao stares at the letter, looking completely lost, since those words might as well be ancient alien text. Nirvana Flame explains it is part of a branching storyline they can complete after clearing the tree demon forest and returning to the city. Boiled water dumplings is absolutely hyped. Honestly, who does not love free side quests? He is already wondering how incredibly powerful that final reward is going to be. Nirvana Flame walks over and tosses the flute straight to Boiled Water Dumplings. Since he is the main tank, he earned this reward. Boiled Water Dumplings catches it and loses his mind. Nirvana Flame signals to keep moving. The whole squad is locked in and marches forward. As Tang Yao walks, he cannot help but smile. At first, everyone doubted Nirvana Flame, acting like professional haters, but now they are switching sides even faster than our protagonist keeps collecting babios. Soon, echoes of battle roll across the forest. The team surrounds another towering tree demon, jumping it from every angle, taking heavy damage. The monster finally faceplants. Standing nearby, Boiled Water grabs the dropped loot, shaking with absolute excitement. He finds a bronze grade buckler with 10% bonus defense. Every shield he farmed before suddenly resembles cheap knockoff merchandise. Later, while they are eating well, Yulan stares at Nirvana Flame and admits something. She knows it is pretty shameless to ask since they got this gear because of him, but she deeply wants to buy that buckler. She knows the shield would let their party survive higher-level dungeons, even without Nirvana Flame carrying them all on his back. Nirvana Flame ponders this for a moment. He only wants thief gear and the Featherfall jewel from the tree Demon King anyway. Everything else will be sold, so he tells Yulan to just take it. Yaya feels a bit guilty because the squad keeps benefiting from his insane carrying. She apologizes and thanks him. Anyway, and out of nowhere, thick vines explode from the ground, bursting up in front of the team because this forest suddenly chose violence. Nirvana Flame immediately warns his team. Slicing several vines with clean swings, he narrows his eyes. He instantly realizes the real threat has arrived, ordering everyone into battle formation. Shield warriors move to the front to wait for his signal. Honestly, this showdown is worth the hype. They face the Triant King. This giant tree demon roars in pure rage, calling the humans absolute clowns for invading its territory, then swings its massive arm at Nirvana Flame. He instantly hops backward, easily dodging the attack without breaking a sweat. Another deadly blow comes flying in, but he ducks low. Yulan can barely process what she is seeing. A level 2 thief is casually styling on a level 4 lower grade boss. Nirvana Flame dodges another hit, then calls boiled water forward, ordering every melee class to stay behind the tank while warning the mages not to come within 30 yards of the boss unless they want to become fertilizer. Boiled water charges and shield bashes the tree demon king, immediately realizing this beast has defense thicker than plot armor. Nirvana Flame quickly shouts his next command, and the mages open fire. Standing safely over 30 yards away, they unleash their strongest spells one after another, dumping every bit of magic into the tree demon king while staying completely outside of its danger zone. As the team holds positions, a massive explosion erupts, and the boss's health bar starts getting absolutely cooked. Heavy smoke blankets the area after the boss drops the biggest smoke bomb imaginable. Infuriated, the tree demon king swings its massive arm at boiled water. He blocks with his shield, but that hit is built different. His health instantly drops by 78. Nirvana Flame immediately calls for boiled water to use the flute. Shaking off the blow, boiled water activates it. The melody echoes through the battlefield, and the tree demon king gets distracted. This monster's attention span is totally cooked. Nirvana Flame instantly capitalizes, ordering the mages to spam fire spells. Use only fire spells. Ice is completely useless since this boss has crazy ice resistance. Tonga. He smirks, flames gather in his hand. Fire magic is his absolute comfort zone. He has been waiting for this moment. Nirvana Flame then turns toward another teammate, asking if she is a priest who has the cleansing spell. She nods. Nirvana Flame quickly points toward boiled water and tells her to keep her eyes locked on the tank. The boss will cast fear, and if boiled water gets hit by it, she must cleanse him immediately. Nirvana Flame gives her a reassuring smile, telling her not to stress. Just stay chill, he will call the timing, and she only has to cast it the instant he says so. Soon, the tree demon king unleashes a powerful fear spell. Boiled water gets hit, and his movements immediately become shaky. From the panic, the instant it happens, Nirvana Flame calls for the cleanse. The priest reacts instantly, removing the debuff in one clean cast. Seriously, that is frame-perfect timing. You really could not script it any better. The priest smiles in relief. The strategy actually worked. The entire team surrounds the boss, ganging up on it from all sides. The mages keep casting. Suddenly, the boss lets out a furious roar. Its eyes glow as its dark aura flares up. Nirvana Flame immediately warns everyone to brace themselves. The boss is entering its enrage phase. Ulin grits her teeth. She had no idea this boss could rage. That is toxic game design. The Triant King begins focusing purely on boiled water with nonstop attacks. Nirvana Flame rushes over, telling boiled water to quickly switch into defensive stance while yelling at the priests to chug mana potions and spam heals. The priests immediately drink their potions and start healing non-stop. Even behind his massive shield, boiled water takes heavy hits, yelling out that the damage is way too insane and he cannot hold out forever. Fortunately, the constant heals barely keep him alive, getting his confidence back. He grips his shield with both hands, blocking another heavy strike. He admits that without these heals and support, he would have been sent back to spawn long ago. He quickly chugs a health potion, finally realizing why Nirvana Flame made them stock up beforehand. The leader planned everything perfectly. The Triant King raises one arm, forming a gigantic hammer of wood before slamming it down. The entire cavern floor shakes violently as everyone feels the shockwave. At that exact moment, Nirvana Flame charges forward. He shouts that the boss is nearly dead, ordering the squad to full send. Every single attack, Bold Water instantly charges in with heroic strike while Ulan follows with Holy Light Slash. The rest of the squad dumps their strongest skills. Onto the beast, seeing the opening, Nirvana Flame throws his blade with full force. The weapon slams straight into the Tree Demon King's face, without wasting even a single second. He follows up with Vital Strike, leaping forward and driving the blade even deeper. Green blood sprays out as Nirvana Flame flips backward. Moment later, the Triant King's body begins to tremble, then it completely collapses and its body splits apart. The entire team stands there in complete disbelief. Yaya smiles, trying to process everything. She never expected them to clear an expert-level dungeon. The priest admits it is all because of Nirvana Flame calling the shots. Without his sharp commands, she would have completely crumbled under the pressure. Boiled Water laughs, admitting he never imagined himself tanking an expert-level boss. Then suddenly, the level-up lights start popping off one after another. Nirvana Flame casually strolls over to the loot pile. He scoops up the prize with a satisfied smirk, the legendary Featherfall Jewel. This entire grind is literally just for this single drop. He finally secures it. The drop rate gods actually stop trolling for once. Nirvana Flame gets a level up too, Loki hyped and completely shook. At the same time, realizing he just hit level 3 is pure hype. Suddenly, a system alert pops up. They cleared the dungeon and secured 1,200 team glory points. Bold Water's shield is absolutely losing his mind, looking at that massive reward. He can't believe they actually bagged 1,200 team glory points in a single run. Nirvana Flame tells Yao Yao and the rest to split the remaining loot however they want, refusing to act like some greedy loot goblin. He says the only step left is heading back to Carol City to turn in their quest. The moment everyone hears this, the squad gets even more excited. They suddenly remember there is still a juicy side quest reward waiting too. Yulan thanks Nirvana Flame with deep gratitude, admitting they cannot possibly repay him for carrying them so hard. Soon, the entire group arrives at the teleportation point in Carol City. Meanwhile, Chenbo is lurking nearby, the saltiest spectator you have ever seen. The second he spots them returning with fresh levels, his mood completely tanks. Talk about grinding hatred instead of experience points. He clenches his teeth, swearing he will never forget the absolute humiliation Nirvana Flame handed him. Now we cut over to the military camp in Carol City. Nirvana Flame and the team approach Warlord Kavarat, who stands tall with his sword, looking extremely important. Nirvana Flame steps forward to respectfully report that they captured 2 dark elves in Triant Forest and secured intel on Hilton Fortress. Reading the report, Kavarat looks genuinely shocked before his face softens. He realizes this random player just speedrun military intel better than his entire army combined. He praises Nirvana Flame and hands over the rewards. A system notification flashes. Nirvana Flame is eating good today. Never expecting to get 2 strength points and a complete skill book, this hidden quest is straight up printing value. After wrapping everything up here, Nirvana Flame tells Yao Yao it is time to head out. She wonders what the next play is, and his answer is simple: more grinding, more leveling. But secretly, he has a much bigger plan in mind. Armed with the Featherfall Jewel, he can finally go challenge the elite boss Lion King Ko. Talk about testing his limits. Yao Yao happily waves goodbye, promising to mail him his gold once the extra gear sells. Out of nowhere, Tang Yao literally grabs his leg after this single dungeon run. He is totally won over and desperately begs Nirvana Flame to teach him how to properly play an arcane mage. The guy is basically a walking strategy database. Nirvana Flame feels slightly awkward but agrees, suggesting they upgrade their gear first. A few minutes later, the duo heads over to the blacksmith to prepare. Nirvana Flame immediately upgrades his gear. Once everything is equipped, he instantly feels the massive stat jump. Tang Yao is watching this massive glow-up, like he just witnessed a low-level rookie transform into an absolute legend. Nirvana Flame announces their next grinding spot is Ryan Hills, and that sends Tang Yao bouncing around with enough pure hype to put a toddler to shame. At those jagged cliffs, lightning tears through the dark sky. Nirvana Flame explains that the caves are crawling with bat monsters dropping valuable loot. He gives Tang Yao exactly 1 hour to farm as many teeth as possible. His eager friend waves and dashes inside. The moment a bat swoops down, Tang Yao cooks it instantly with fire magic. First tooth secured outside the cave. Nirvana Flame watches the action. No way he is just going to stand around. Like useless scenery, he charges in two, slicing through bats with absolute precision. While collecting their teeth, time flies when you are grinding hard. After some 30 minutes slip by, Nirvana Flame begins to wonder how his friend is actually holding up. Suddenly, a panicked voice crackles through the communicator. Tang Yao is screaming for backup. Red-named players have him completely cornered. Nirvana Flame immediately frowns, if his gut instinct is right. It is the Radiant Sacred Flame Guild. Move time. He orders Tang Yao to hide. He is already sprinting toward him. Tang Yao keeps running, breathless. The rocky hills are a complete maze, meaning he can kite them forever. They will not catch him anytime soon. Nirvana Flame pushes his pace, asking how this mess even started. Tang Yao explains that he was just peacefully farming bat monsters. When he stumbled on a rare level 3 leader boss, he wanted to call Nirvana Flame for backup, but these greedy player killers showed up first. Nirvana Flame stays absolutely calm, telling Tang Yao to keep leading them in circles. It is time to personally dismantle their entire squad. Sprinting through the rocky canyons, Nirvana Flame reaches the high cliff edge. Just as he suspected, several players are camping the narrow entrance. A level 3 elemental mage named Azure Strike snaps at his team. For failing to catch one tiny newbie, a swordsman scoffs back, insisting their prey has nowhere to run from high above. Nirvana Flame grins, and honestly, who wouldn't? Red-named players drop everything. He activates stealth, then drops silently from the high ledge. Still, he remains alert. Anyone hunting players with active red names is bound to be a decent fighter. He creeps up behind them. Suddenly, Azure Strike whips around. His eyes narrow instantly as he spots Nirvana Flame lunging with a dagger. He leaps backward, completely prepared for an ambush. With a sneer, he casts Violent Fire Ring, mocking Nirvana Flame for greedily trying to steal his high-level gear. He doubts the thief has enough health to survive. A teammate shouts, warning the squad to attack. Nirvana Flame reacts in a heartbeat. Popping a speed scroll, he takes a fiery spell directly to the chest. Losing 35 health, he instantly locks into full survival mode. As the embers clear, Nirvana Flame grips his blade and charges. Azure Strike panics as Nirvana Flame closes the distance in a flash. His brain is literally blue screening. This insane thief just tanked a massive fire ring just to close the gap without wasting a second. One frame, Nirvana Flame drops his assassinate, driving the dagger straight into his stomach, sending Azure Strike's health bar straight into bankruptcy. Azure Strike immediately leaps backward, raising his staff to start channeling a scorching pyrolast to buy some breathing room. Meanwhile, one of his lackeys leaps into the air with a flaming sword. Nirvana Flame doesn't even blink. He casually spins, blocking the flaming blade with his dagger like it's a regular Tuesday. Another teammate sneaks in from the flank and lands a cheap shot, shaving 13 HP off Nirvana Flame. Peak NPC behavior from the backline. The other minion grins and fires off Holy Light to farm some free damage, but Nirvana Flame couldn't care less. He swats the flaming blade aside and instantly dashes back toward Azure Strike. The attacker swings at nothing but premium dirt while sprinting. Nirvana Flame does the math mid-run. He has more than enough time to bully the mage before the spell even casts. Azure Strike is still busy channeling, but Nirvana Flame reaches him first, burying the dagger deep into his stomach. Again, the guy nearly blacks out as Nirvana Flame keeps up the pressure with zero mercy. He lines up a clean neck shot, but Azure Strike barely leaps back in time. The mage completely loses it and starts crashing out, screaming for backup because apparently his teammates are just expensive decorations. Nirvana Flame kicks into high gear, moving so stupidly fast that nobody can keep up. A warrior with a giant sword activates charge, lunging straight at Nirvana Flame. Too bad that attack has the tracking accuracy of a potato. Nirvana Flame slips around it, repositions instantly, then launches into the air. From above, he drops Vital Strike. The blade slices clean across Azure Strike's neck. A system notification pops up for defeating the red-named player. One of his minions immediately charges over with his flaming blade, hoping to reclaim the boss's loot. Too late. Nirvana Flame already vacuumed up every item. Talk about a shameless loot goblin with zero shame. The fiery swordsman goes full rage mode, firing a linear strike. No stress, he instantly triggers a movement skill to vanish and starts disappearing at top speed. the last two lackeys chase after him like they actually stand a chance against the fastest man alive. Another attack lands from behind, taking 16 more HP off Nirvana Flame. He barely glances back and just keeps running, wrapping himself with a combat bandage. Watch this, the mage spectating from afar realizes what's happening and starts panicking. Nirvana Flame is literally healing mid-chase. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame finishes healing. His HP is completely full again and every cooldown is back. It is a total factory reset, so he plants his foot, spins around and charges straight back at the warrior with the giant blade. The warrior freezes for a split second before roaring and swinging his enormous flaming sword with everything he's got. Nirvana Flame casually jumps onto the flat of the blade itself. In one smooth motion, he activates Vital Strike and slices clean across the warrior's neck before the guy can even load his next thought. Nirvana Flame steps onto his back and drives the dagger in with assassinate. The warrior grits his teeth and starts flailing his sword everywhere. Flames explode all around, barely pushing Nirvana Flame back, yet he remains unfazed. He casually swaps his weapon, drawing a specialized triple arrow bow mechanism instead. With a sharp snap he fires. Every single arrow hits, shoving the warrior back. The warrior's face goes completely pale as harsh reality finally starts sinking in. He is just one hit away from dropping his entire inventory. He rips the arrows out. Tearing them free, he immediately turns tail. His basic survival instincts finally kicked in. Nirvana Flame pauses for a single second, then casually sprints right after him. The warrior's eyes go wide with absolute terror. He knows his run is over. A cold blade slices. He drops like a broken piñata. Nirvana Flame calmly gathers the items, as if collecting a simple daily login reward. Now he turns his gaze to the final minion. The mage is trembling uncontrollably. Shaking with sheer terror, he watches as Nirvana Flame slowly walks toward him. A heavy, suffocating aura rises around the thief. He looks like a terrifying raid boss. Entering Phase 2, a cold, faint blue light begins to flicker in his eyes. The thief smirks, his skill activating. It is finally time for the mage to pay. A massive explosion echoes. The fragile mage gets absolutely folded by the sudden attack. He drops every single piece of gear, bursting open like another massive loot piñata. Nirvana Flame immediately checks the high-tier gear he just easily yoinked. It is the Fire Chaser set, a bronze-grade armor set. This set is perfect for his friend, Tang Yao, who loves spamming fire magic constantly. The rest of his gear gets sold off instantly. Nirvana Flame quickly pings Tang Yao, asking for his current coordinates inside the game. Tang Yao replies that he is hiding inside a dangerous level 5 monster cave. Without a word, Nirvana Flame sends over screenshots of the entire Fire Chaser set. The moment he sees the images, Tang Yao's jaw drops in absolute disbelief. He asks how his friend could possibly obtain such incredibly high-tier gear. Nirvana Flame casually hands the set over, leaving Tang Yao completely speechless. The mage feels like he just hit a massive, life-changing jackpot today. Even if he gets killed today, this gear makes everything totally worth it. Standing near the high ground, Tang Yao spots some subtle movement down below. It looks like a few more victims are about to send themselves home. Let's see who is coming. 6 of Azure's minions are moving cautiously. One of them opens his interface and suddenly freezes in pure shock. Their commander, Boss Diane, is dead. The entire squad completely freezes. No one can believe it. Boss Diane was incredibly geared up. His insane fire damage easily put him in the top 10 across the guild. With his skills, he could easily cook anyone, but he had a red name. If a red-named player dies, they drop everything they are carrying. An armored warrior grimly confirms their worst nightmare: everything dropped. They immediately start demanding to know who could have done this. When they hear it was just a single thief, they freeze up again. Remember, Boss Diane had 2 strong teammates helping him during the hunt. All 3 were wiped out by a level 3 thief. Their minds cannot process this information. It feels completely impossible. But a shield warrior from DK firmly confirms there is no mistake. DK personally verified every single detail. The culprit is indeed Nirvana Flame, and he is most likely the teammate of that arcane mage. As they walk the shield, warrior reveals an internal kill order is already active. Anyone who takes down Nirvana Flame even once earns 5 silver coins, hidden high. Inside a tree, Nirvana Flame catches every word. 5 silver coins, he cannot Help but smirk, never expecting his own head to be worth that much. On activating stealth, he quietly shadows them. These absolute clowns really love ganging up on solo players while hiding behind guild numbers. Pathetic, they are about to learn what happens when a solo player snaps. Suddenly, chaos. A loud noise erupts behind the trees, making the minions nervously wonder if it is that thief. Instead, a massive level 5 horned deer leader appears. The shield warrior raises his guard, deciding they might as well farm the horned deer leader first, since neither the mage nor the thief is showing up anytime soon. Watching the encounter unfold, Nirvana Flame's eyes gleam, and honestly, the timing couldn't be more perfect for him. The group and the horned deer leader charge. The shield warrior intercepts it head-on, blocking the heavy impact. Meanwhile, the swordsmen repeatedly slash at the beast. The mages rain spells from the backline, scoring clean, direct hits. The boss's health bar steadily depletes. Both mages grow incredibly cocky, boasting they will hunt down the beast in under 30 seconds. They are completely focused on the target. Not a single person notices Nirvana Flame sneaking right behind them. Silently, he rushes forward. With his dagger raised, a clean stab lands straight into the first mage's back. The target stumbles in complete shock. Before he can even process the heavy lag, Nirvana Flame strikes the other mage, driving the blade even deeper, maintaining his relentless assault with zero breathing room. The panicked mage reaches for a healing potion, but he is far too slow. Nirvana Flame slices the potion before it's even used. One final stab drives straight through the caster's chest. He manages one last confused thought before dissolving into pixels. Nirvana Flame calmly pulls his trusty dagger back. The second mage stands there looking completely lost, trying to figure out where his companion vanished. Then, another blade suddenly buries itself deep into his back. He grits his teeth, spins around, and finally spots Nirvana Flame. Without wasting a second, he casts Holy Light. The spell lands directly on Nirvana Flame, knocking down his health too. Meanwhile, the shield warrior keeps tanking the horned deer leader, blocking attacks with his shield, but things suddenly begin to feel off. Catching a flash of holy light in the distance, his face immediately falls, realizing that the annoying thief is back. A swordsman nervously asks what the plan is because they are getting jumped from both sides while the monster is still glued to them. Talk about being caught in the worst possible spot. The shield warrior immediately makes the call. Everyone focus all damage on bursting down the horned deer leader first. After that, they will turn around to jump the thief. The shield warrior from the radiant sacred flame guild stands firm, locking his heavy shield against the giant beast. Both of them are completely locked in a massive ego battle. Suddenly, one swordsman darts forward and slices clean across the beast's neck. It lets out the most tragic scream ever as blood spills from its mouth. Moments later, the beast faceplants. Health hits zero. Over. Meanwhile, on the other side, Nirvana Flame finishes wiping the second mage from existence. While scooping up the valuable fallen loot, he glances up and spots the last 3 enemies. The remaining Radiant Sacred Flame guild members look completely finished, their health bars hanging on by a thread. Nirvana Flame narrows his eyes. Their health is dangerously low, but 3 melee fighters grouped together are still annoying to deal with. The exhausted shield warrior points out that 5 of their members have already been eliminated by this lone player, and backup is already on the way. The guild's main squad is about to arrive. Nirvana Flame cannot believe it is literally a 3 versus 1, yet these players are too scared to attack. If they are just going to stand around like mindless statues, he has no reason to stay. The shield warrior refuses to take the bait. The whole squad already knows Nirvana Flame is trying to split them apart and defeat them one by one. As long as they stick together, he cannot touch any of them. Nirvana Flame immediately figures out their game plan. These players are just stalling until reinforcements arrive. Without saying anything, he casually turns around, waves his hand, and starts walking away. The second he begins retreating, the Radiant Sacred Flame members suddenly find their courage and start sprinting after him. They panic, realizing their target is escaping. The shield warrior notices the backup squad finally arriving and orders everyone to trap Nirvana Flame. The guild reinforcements rush into the area at full speed. Too bad. By the time they reach the battlefield, Nirvana Flame has already vanished like the wind. Confusion spreads quickly as everyone looks around wondering where he went. They scatter across the area, desperately searching and refusing to let him escape, but it is too late. Nirvana Flame has already activated his stealth and glided far beyond their reach. He leaps onto a high cliff, reaches the top, and looks back with a very smug grin. Knowing this game map better than anyone else, he lets the Radiant Sacred Flame members waste their stamina running laps while he casually heads off to check on Tang Yao. Meanwhile, Tang Yao hides inside a corner of the rock spider cave, avoiding monsters. The hiding spot is so obscure that the Radiant Sacred Flame squad would never think to search there, but when Nirvana Flame suddenly appears right in front of him, Tang Yao almost jumps out of his skin. He is completely baffled by how Nirvana Flame snuck past an entire guild without getting spotted. The answer is painfully simple: stealth. Nirvana Flame immediately hands over. Tang Yao's eyes practically light up with excitement after recognizing the Fire Chaser set. Nirvana Flame explains that the gear dropped from Azure Strike of the Radiant Sacred Flame Guild and fits Tang Yao's build perfectly. No time to waste. He equips the entire set at lightning speed. Seeing his friend look incredibly happy, Nirvana Flame gives an approving nod. He leads the way, remembering that a silver chest must be hidden somewhere inside. With Tang Yao rocking the full Fire Chaser set, their combined damage is going to absolutely melt everything. No hesitation, Nirvana Flame suddenly charges straight ahead, deeper into the cave, leaving Tang Yao totally confused. Nirvana Flame pulls out his triple crossbow and unleashes a deadly volley at the approaching spiders. The bolts slam into the level 5 rock spiders, chunking health. At the same time, Tang Yao gathers arcane fire and launches it. The fire crashes right into the spiders, dealing some pretty insane damage. Those rock spiders instantly get tilted beyond belief. Tang Yao stares at his hands in disbelief. He cannot believe he is hitting this hard against monsters too. Levels above him, that Fire Chaser set is built different. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame triggers Assassinate, blinking straight to a rock spider and burying his dagger into its head. Its health completely evaporates. Instead of standing around admiring the numbers, Tang Yao immediately follows up with another wave of flames. He can barely believe they are casually farming mobs 2 levels above their own. Nirvana Flame keeps the momentum rolling. The duo absolutely clear out the cave. Nirvana Flame controls aggro with fast dagger combos while Tang Yao stands safely in the backline, raining down fire spells that roast every spider dumb enough to get close. One by one, the monsters flop as they venture deeper. Tang Yao suddenly notices that the silver chest is actually sitting right there. Nirvana Flame casually mentions spotting it while making his way through earlier. The excitement instantly crashes into reality because neither of them has the lockpicking skill. There has to be incredible loot sitting inside, but opening it is the real problem. Before they can figure anything out, a massive spider crawls into view. Nirvana Flame stays completely unfazed. The developers of Conviction usually hide the key somewhere close to treasure chests, so there is no reason to panic. Right as that thought settles, the giant spider charges at full speed. Rock Spider Chieftain, Chieftain rank level 5. The Rock Spider Chieftain unleashes a nightmare screech that can make anybody uninstall on the spot. Tang Yao immediately realizes they are facing a level 5 Chieftain boss and starts stressing out. Nirvana Flame, meanwhile, is already cooking up the easiest solution. They are simply going to nuke it. He activates stealth and rushes forward while telling Tang Yao to stay at least 20 yards away, hold the choke point, and avoid dragging the boss far enough to aggro the rest of the cave. Tang Yao follows the plan perfectly as the chieftain chases after him. At the perfect moment, he turns around and launches a massive arcane fireball. This attack slams directly into the rock spider chieftain, shaving off a massive chunk of its health. Nirvana Flame immediately recognizes the massive elemental advantage. Fire magic absolutely bullies this boss, making the entire fight far more manageable than it looks. The boss is strong, but with their current damage output, it is definitely getting packed. Field control stays on lock while Tang Yao handles the main damage. Tang Yao gathers flames in his hand, looking locked in instead of NPC coded. Nirvana Flame launches forward, popping stun and slams the spider right in the head. Its health drops by 10. Now is the he instantly backflips away as the giant spider absolutely crashes out. It roars in pure rage. From the backline, Tang Yao fires an arcane fireball, a direct hit for 20 damage, but the flames instantly vanish and the spider shrugs off the burning status effect. Nirvana Flame drops back to the ground, but the spider wastes zero time, diving him with its massive legs. It is a critical hit. Nirvana Flame gets slammed down as his health drops to 78, remaining completely calm. He wraps a combat bandage around himself while telling Tang Yao to watch for earth spikes unless he wants to become a kebab. Tang Yao's eyes go wide as spikes suddenly erupt from beneath him. He barely survives by leaping backward at the last possible second. After recovering, Nirvana Flame charges right back into the fray. Everything depends on Tang Yao's damage output while Nirvana Flame keeps the boss busy. Tang Yao immediately calls a quick timeout, needing mana first. He chugs a low-level instant recovery potion before raising his staff again. As fire energy surges around him, his mana bar finally hits full. Another arcane fireball blasts straight toward the rock spider. Chieftain, the spell hits and the explosion engulfs the boss in flames, setting the entire monster ablaze. While the spider thrashes around in pain, Nirvana Flame instantly moves in. He leaps high and drives his dagger into the boss's head. With a vital strike, the spider lets out one last scream and collapses. It is over. Tang Yao stands there completely stunned, unable to believe the boss is dead. His legs give out and he collapses onto the ground, gasping for air like he just ran 10 marathons. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame casually collects the loot. This includes 2 skill books and a silver key usable 3 times to unlock chests. Nirvana Flame casually tosses 1 skill book over to Tang Yao with a smile. Talk about a massive jackpot. Skyfall is an incredibly deadly area of effect skill that still clears monsters easily even in the late game. Tang Yao freezes. He actually gets to keep this. Nirvana Flame simply shrugs. It is decent, but compared to other high-tier books, it is kind of average. Tang Yao just stares at the book, looking completely confused, because he has never heard of the skill books Nirvana Flame is mentioning. He is totally lost. Nirvana Flame just smiles, secretly holding onto his future knowledge. Then he immediately sprints back toward the silver chest. Loot always comes first. Reaching it, he uses the silver key. The chest clicks open, and inside, Nirvana Flame's eyes light up. The web weaver's ring is incredible loot. Tang Yao rubs his chin. To him, it looks like cheap trash. He cannot see the potential, but Nirvana Flame just grins. For thieves, this ring is basically a divine artifact. He asks if Skyfall is already learned, and Tang Yao nods in agreement. It is done, which is perfect because ahead of them, a massive swarm of rock spiders comes charging over. Nirvana Flame quickly volunteers for aggro duty while Tang Yao begins chanting. With that settled, Nirvana Flame zigzags through the battlefield, dodging spiders left and right until every angry beast is chasing him instead. Meanwhile, Tang Yao watches the massive swarm draw near, and he instantly regrets his life decisions. His spell chant feels longer than an unskippable cutscene. As the spell continues, a gigantic fireball forms above his hands. The flames burn brighter and brighter until even his eyes glow with raw fire mana. The massive spell crashes into the rock spiders swarm, instantly incinerating any arachnid lucky enough to survive the first wave. Nirvana Flame slips in right after, methodically hunting down the last few survivors. He finishes them with quick dagger strikes before giving Tang Yao a firm nod. Tang Yao just stares at the charred ground, unable to process what just happened. He actually cast that monstrous spell. Suddenly, Nirvana Flame lands right next to him. A quiet tap on his shoulder snaps him out of it. The dungeon is not over yet. Tang Yao scratches his head, looking pretty awkward. His mana is completely gone. Every single instant mana potion is already gone too. Nirvana Flame pauses. He suddenly remembers that using Skyfall at this tier totally drains a mage's reserve. Then another realization hits him. Deep inside this spider-infested cave rests a legendary treasure. One of the most powerful relics in the entire game is waiting right here. Tang Yao hesitantly suggests heading back before he becomes dead weight. Nirvana Flame agrees, offering to teach him some advanced arcane mage tactics along the way. After walking for a while, they finally make it to a safe zone. Tang Yao pulls out a Return City scroll. Before tearing it, he looks up and smiles. What started as a disaster turned into the biggest jackpot they could have imagined. Nirvana Flame smiles back. They are brothers now, and that is all that matters. As rain begins pouring outside the cave, Tang Yao teleports away, leaving his friend alone. With cold water dripping from his heavy armor, Nirvana Flame immediately heads deeper inside. A single vivid memory guides his steps. hidden in these depths is a sacred relic. He is searching for the lost first volume of the legendary chapter of Order. Both the books of Order and Chaos are ancient artifacts belonging to the god of Order. They have existed within Conviction for 500 to 600 years without being found. Nobody knows who created them, but whoever gathers every scattered volume of Order will gain the power to restore the sacred divine order of the world. That lucky player will become the supreme leader of every single light temple. The great Pope, on the flip side, gathering the chapters of Chaos grants terrifying dark magic, turning the owner into a ruthless engine of pure destruction. They would become the Dark God King, a truly legendary class. Since Conviction is only an open beta, players have barely scratched the surface. Only the very first expansion pack, Buried History, has been unlocked so far. This initial volume of Order contains the lost pages of justice, courage, and wisdom. Every single page holds enough raw power to break the game balance. Anyone who found one easily dominated the server leaderboards back then. It was basically like playing with cheat codes in his previous life 3. Powerful guild masters built their massive empires entirely around these sacred pages. They became living myths, effortlessly soloing over 100 enemy players at once. Nirvana Flame's eyes narrow. Right now, he holds a massive advantage. He is the only player alive who knows where every chapter is hidden. This time around, he will be the one writing the history books. Previously, the chapter of Justice belonged to the legendary leader of Angel Corps. That was Soaring Angel, an elf demon hunter with terrifying combat skills. When hundreds of enemies cornered him, he casually summoned 16 spectral knights. He single-handedly slaughtered their entire elite force without breaking a sweat. The powerful owner of the Chapter of Wisdom led the Holy Judgment Guild as an arcane mage known as the Flame Sage Killer. During the undead invasion he unleashed Holy Radiance Judgment, purifying over 300 necromancers instantly. 300, meanwhile, the holder of the Chapter of Courage led the Holy Roman Empire, the Wild Berserker, Sleepy Fox. During the Great Guild War, he declared that teamwork is optional, diving solo straight into the enemy army, every 10 steps. Another player caught the Respawn Express, now buried deep in this very cavern lies that same Chapter of Courage. Just the thought sends Nirvana Flame's excitement straight through the roof. He charges ahead, then abruptly halts in front of several rock spiders. Their weird cave camping squad blocks the path. But water catches his attention instead. Looking ahead, 3 rock spider leaders completely block off the trail. Without wasting a moment, Nirvana Flame slips into stealth. Cracking a repelling pearl, he dives straight into the deep water. Swimming down, he recalls a rumor about a hidden treasure chest here. Back in his past life, absolutely nobody discovered it. Until the midgame, making the online forums completely go wild. Finally, a treasure chest coated in thick mud rests quietly on the lakebed. He stops directly before this seems to be a gold treasure chest. He squints. Wait, that emblem belongs to the old pirates who ruled the Nia Yen Jishi during the era of shared governance. He is actually staring at an ancient pirate chest. This is way more valuable than a standard gold chest. Without a second thought, he opens it, revealing a single, unappraised assassin's precept dagger. Nirvana Flame carefully retrieves it. Across both of his lifetimes, he has never encountered this weapon before. Looking at the intricate design, it must be at least gold tier. Even if he misses out on the Chapter of Courage today, this run is already a massive win. The submerged tunnel winds onward before opening into a concealed cave. Nirvana Flame pulls himself onto solid ground, water dripping from his gear. He gazes around, completely lost for words. He never expected to find a sanctuary this beautiful hidden beneath a spider nest. As he ventures deeper, something instantly catches his eye. Mysterious silver book rests among the ruins, as if waiting just for him. Recognizing it instantly, his heart begins to race. Every single page is covered in glowing ancient text engraved with tin and silver script. It records the lost history of the pre-heroic era, written in the Coast Giant ancient common and draconic tongues. Instead of reading, the raw knowledge force downloads directly into his mind. Suddenly, system alerts start spamming one after another. He deciphers the Coast Giant tongue, the draconic language, and the ancient common tongue. Along with that, he secures the Chapter of Courage. A powerful bursts around his body as the owner of the Chapter of Courage receives the holy inheritance of a divine soul, blessed by the gods themselves. Nirvana Flame stands frozen in utter disbelief. He is genuinely lagging in real life. The effects are utterly broken. No wonder Sleepy Fox annihilated over 200 players alone after acquiring this chapter of courage in the past timeline. Soon, his expression turns incredibly serious. Hunting monsters and player versus player combat just became far more dangerous. If he dies, this legendary chapter of courage drops instantly. Volume 1 shows us this legendary treasure is never truly safe. His eyes scan the chamber. Something feels off. A broken item like this should have it. Terrifying guardian. So why is everything so quiet? Why is obtaining the chapter of courage this easy? The answer comes fast. The ground beneath him instantly explodes. Nirvana flame barely keeps his footing, grinding his teeth. He realizes the truth. Taking the chapter of courage wakens its guardian. The water exit seals shut as falling rocks block the escape route entirely. Without hesitation, he leaps toward a higher cliff. He has to get out. Raising his hand, he activates the Weaver's Ring, which is basically Spider-Man style. A spider thread shoots upward, hooking onto the cliff above. He pulls himself up with everything he has. The instant he reaches the top, a massive explosion erupts below. Nirvana flame looks back. Towering behind him stands the Guardian of Order. Its whole body burns with raging flames. Blazing spears flicker in both hands. Nirvana activates his newly acquired transcendent insight to appraise the beast. Without warning, countless fire spears rain down on him. Nirvana flame instantly dodges sideways. At his current level, one hit means instant logout, so he immediately decides to head back to town. Meanwhile, everyone in Linktown suddenly feels an overwhelming pressure descend. Panicked, confused voices erupt everywhere. Suddenly, a regional system alert echoes across the entire area. Draconic creature has appeared in the southern region of the town. All unrelated players must evacuate immediately. Heavy, armored footsteps thunder through the streets as the Holy Crusaders arrive. The non-player character army is here. Players stare in complete disbelief. Nobody understands what is happening. Meanwhile, Nirvana flame sprints toward town with everything he has. He glances behind him and his stomach drops. The draconic creature locked onto him. He accidentally becomes the world's most wanted player. Without hesitation, he activates a haste scroll, increasing his speed by 20%. He pushes his body to the absolute limit. A massive stream of flames erupts toward him. He barely dodges, but the edge of the attack still clips him, sending his health crashing down. Gritting his teeth, he keeps running just a little farther. He activates the Weaver's Ring once again. Another spider thread shoots forward and hooks onto a nearby tree. Using that momentum, he swings ahead like some fantasy Spider-Man, instantly creating more distance before continuing his escape. Above him, the draconic creature opens its mouth once more. Flames gather into a blazing sphere, preparing another devastating attack. Then an arrow slices through the sky and lands directly on target. The draconic beast roars furiously as its attention shifts away. Standing on some nearby high ground is the warlord Nisad, his bow still raised after releasing the shot. The Crusaders prepare to pass judgment upon these evil, foolish dragons. A non-player character really dropped the hardest entrance line while the dragon caught all the smoke. Draconic creature flies across the sky at top speed, looking like a whole flying apocalypse with main character energy. The draconic creature suddenly freezes in midair for dramatic effect. Then it lets out an earth-shaking roar and instantly summons a blazing meteor. The players stare upward, completely totally flabbergasted. There is no way anyone can actually tank a skill like this. The town system alarm immediately blasts in warning. Panic spreads faster and trash talk in world chat. Meanwhile, Warlord Nised stays completely calm, grips his heavy bow, and orders his soldiers to raise the basic defensive barrier. A massive energy shield immediately wraps around the tower. The fiery meteors rain down, slamming into the shield with deafening explosions that rock the whole town. Miraculously, the barrier holds strong. Nised wastes no time and barks another order. Every archer immediately draws their bows and targets the giant dragon. Thousands of arrows launch into the open sky. Right before they strike, a column of pure holy light erupts from below, slamming directly into the beast's chest. Absolute chaos. The monster completely loses its mind. A furious roar splits the air, shattering all active spells. In an instant, then it tucks its wings and plummets straight down with terrifying velocity. The beast slams hard into the barrier, completely shattering the shield before cratering into the earth, while everyone else panics over the Guardian of Order suddenly appearing. A few elite players stand back. They are like starving predators, just waiting for the perfect moment. They do not care about saving this town. They want the non-playable characters to do the heavy lifting. Before they jump in to snatch all the loot, the first group is Radiant Temple. Their guild leader is Radiant Star. He is actually a decent, loyal guy and Nirvana Flame remembers partnering up with him in his past life. Another faction nearby belongs to Drawn Sword, head of the Dark Massacre Guild. That guy radiates straight danger and looks like a professional troublemaker. Nirvana Flame then spots Sleepy Fox, the original owner of Courage. That is too bad for him because Nirvana Flame already snagged that powerful chapter for himself. Radiant Star confronts Drawn Sword with total confidence, warning him that since Radiant Temple has claimed this spot, the Dark Massacre group needs to back off and avoid a humiliation. Drawn Sword just scoffs. He reminds his rival that Radiant Temple cleared Black Flame Forest with a miserable 68% completion rate. Their leading guild glory is barely 200 points. Meanwhile, up above, the massive boss takes hit after hit from magic spells. Down below, players are already locking eyes, ready to slaughter each other over loot that has not even dropped. Greed brings out the worst in them. Suddenly, a massive blast strikes the dragon squarely, sending it tumbling down into the dirt below. The beast crashes through several structures before halting. Warlord Nisad immediately puts up a fresh personal shield. The massive dragon charges forward but collides with the ward. The commander calmly raises his bow, calling on the glory of the Holy Crusaders to pass judgment upon the wicked beast. A brilliant magic projectile tears straight through the dragon's chest. Its health points completely bottom out. The monster lets out a final painful rattle before collapsing. Instantly, everyone realizes the Guardian of Order is dead. All sense of cooperation vanishes. Players immediately turn into absolute loot goblins. The exact second the signal flashes, everyone charges forward in a mad dash. Nirvana Flame. He instantly activates stealth and silently slips into the race. A red-haired player reaches toward the dropped loot, already celebrating before even touching it. Rookie mistake, a sudden burst of fire blasts him, leaving him to regret every single life decision. Sleepy Fox immediately orders everyone to block the others and dashes forward at insane speed. The red-haired guy trails behind. Completely miserable, Sleepy Fox reaches for the loot with complete confidence, absolutely convinced victory is already his, but then reality instantly humbles him. A cold voice casually warns him not to even try, as an immobilizer spell completely ruins his day. He basically gets crowd-controlled into another dimension. Drawn Sword and Radiant Star instantly capitalize on this opening and rush toward the loot. Nirvana Flame calmly lifts his triple-shot hand crossbow and realizes the race is already basically cooked. Since snatching the top gear is out of the question, he decides to embrace the utter chaos instead. Several arrows instantly shoot toward Drawn Sword. Radiant Star swiftly slips past him and successfully grabs the dropped item from the draconic beast. He turns to Nirvana Flame with a smug grin, silently thanking him for the accidental assist. Nirvana Flame just looks on, feeling a bit annoyed that he has to walk away empty-handed. Since there is with nothing left to gain, he prepares to leave. Drawn Sword, though, is absolutely fuming. His expression darkens as he blocks Nirvana Flame's path. Every single one of his lackeys surrounds Nirvana Flame, looking ready to jump him over something that is not even his fault. Peak sore loser behavior. But Nirvana Flame stays totally chill, casually asking if they seriously plan on keeping him here. Radiant Star steps forward right away to make his stance crystal clear. Nirvana Flame is his friend, and anyone looking for trouble with him has to fight the entire Radiant Temple Guild. First, his guild members instantly gather behind their leader without any hesitation, showing absolutely zero fear toward the rival Dark Massacre Guild. Drawn Sword suddenly lets out a cold laugh, his eyes flashing with lethal intent as he warns that not a single soul is leaving this place alive. Sleepy Fox just laughs, while Loki mutters that there is honestly nothing left for them to do here. Flying Stone quickly points out Nirvana Flame, reminding everyone that this thief is the precise expert he keeps hyping up, the same guy who gave him the guide to the fallen shaman camp. Hearing this, the Sleepy Fox glances over at Nirvana Flame and notes that anyone with functioning eyes can see his sheer talent after watching him snatch up that valuable gear like. "It was yours," Flying Stone asks what the plan is. Sleepy Fox grins and casually invites Nirvana Flame to join the Holy Roman Empire for a run into the Oakham Mud Swamp in a few days. Across the battlefield, the Dark Massacre Guild leader instantly shifts his glare toward the relaxed Sleepy Fox, while the Radiant Star Guild leader also locks onto the conversation. Nirvana Flame instantly realizes that Flying Stone was with the Holy Roman Empire all along. Suddenly, everything clicks. He calmly accepts their offer but adds a single condition. He wants first dibs on any thief weapon or item that drops in that dungeon. The surrounding crowd instantly starts buzzing in disbelief. They wonder if this guy has completely lost his mind to demand something so crazy. He negotiates with Sleepy Fox right after the rescue. Talk about crazy energy. One of Sleepy Fox's underlings gets incredibly salty. He begins whining loudly. The angry subordinate complains that Nirvana Flame is demanding way too much. They are the ones saving his life, yet he still expects to make demands. Talk about confidence. The arrogance allegations start flying faster than critical hits. Sleepy Fox just smirks. No stress here. He remains completely unbothered. He admits the guy is proud, but to him, that just proves he is completely legitimate. In his experience, players who talk crazy usually have the skill. They are nothing like the regular talkative frauds who walk around boasting with zero actual damage. He immediately accepts the deal, promising Nirvana Flame the first pick of every single thief drop. This generous offer makes the entire crowd collectively lose their minds. Nobody can believe how a basic-looking thief pulled off this legendary deal. He bypassed all the stressful negotiations, getting Sleepy Fox to agree with absolutely zero arguments. A Dark Massacre member whispers to his leader, "Things look bad." Taking on 2 major guilds at once is a guaranteed ticket straight back to spawn. Sleepy Fox calmly asks Drawn Sword to let this go and walk away. Drawn Sword glares coldly. However, since a major guild leader stepped in, he stops. He barks out orders for everyone to leave, and the Dark Massacre Guild retreats without another word. Once they clear out, the Radiant Star leader walks over to thank him. He admits he never expected Nirvana Flame to have strong connections with the Holy Roman Empire. Without his timely interference, they never would have secured that elite gear. Nirvana Flame just brushes it off with a smile. No big deal. He makes it clear that they are reading far too much into things. Sleepy Fox then turns to ask the Radiant Star leader if today's haul was actually any good. Radiant Star opens his system menu and lets out a massive sigh. The drops are a complete disappointment, featuring nothing but the stout armor of Courage setpiece. Sleepy Fox notes that while it is an incredibly rare gold-grade setpiece, the level 100 requirement is just ridiculous. That is basically a lifetime away. Radiant Star can only agree. Flying Stone happily jogs over, hoping they can run a dungeon next time. Nirvana Flame genuinely expresses his deep gratitude for the extremely helpful backup they provided earlier. Sleepy Fox suggests exchanging friend requests to coordinate future raids, and the others agree. Nirvana Flame secretly smiles because in his past life, becoming friends with them was totally impossible. He never imagined being on equal terms with these giant figures. Once the chatting wraps up, he bids them farewell and leaves. Once he safely leaves the busy area, he finally inspects the special dagger he just looted. He smiles confidently after confirming it is indeed a true offhand weapon. At only level 5, it already boasts an incredible attack power of over 30. Once he finally unlocks dual wielding, his future damage output is going to be absolutely feral. The scene now shifts to Telic Town's teleportation point. With only 30 minutes left before mandatory logout, he decides to finish Dr. Blavin's quest. A brief teleportation flash later, he steps onto the soil of Merfolk Village. His eyes narrow instantly. The entire village is completely ruined. The victorious Return Guild clearly did not waste a single second here. Scanning the wreckage, he spots several confused solo players wandering around. He needs fine silk, and buying it directly from players will save precious time. Farming it is too slow. Soon, he reaches Lake Island. Nirvana Flame approaches Dr. Blevins, who is peacefully fishing by the river. He respectfully greets him, and Dr. Blevins asks if the quest is done. Nirvana Flame nods, handing over all 90 pieces of the fine silk. He hopes they help. Dr. Blevins smiles happily as he takes the delivery. He finally has enough to return to Hilton's stronghold by tomorrow. The doctor bows in gratitude, but Nirvana Flame only cares about their safety. He wishes safety for the stronghold warriors. Dr. Blevins offers several rewards. He wishes him a safe journey, but suddenly Nirvana Flame freezes. He stares at the stats in disbelief. It is another gold grade item. The loot gods are smiling on him. Suddenly, a server-wide announcement echoes. It warns all players to log off immediately before the server shuts down. Only 1 minute left. He quickly checks his own experience bar. It sits at 98%, unbelievably close, yet the clock is ticking. Time is up, so his leveling up will have to wait. He has to wait until tomorrow. Nirvana Flame slowly closes his eyes. Back to reality, he pulls off the heavy VR helmet. He immediately begins to train, planning his next moves. Virtual strength is not enough. He needs real-world power as well. No lazy excuses. This second chance at life is his to master. In this lifetime, slacking off is simply not an option for him. With determination in his eyes, he decides to visit a local dojo. No more being just another background character. Nia Yen arrives at the Lin family dojo like it is a routine stop. Zero excitement, he just steps up and grabs a training card. He pays for a 2-hour session right at the reception desk. The receptionist immediately recognizes him and assumes the worst. She thinks he is here for Lin Chi, his arrogant former classmate. Lin Chi assumes he is still obsessed with her over some old love letter. But Nia Yen does not respond. He silently takes his training card instead. He walks away, but Lin Chi keeps mocking him from behind. She laughs at his family problems and poor financial state. To her, he is just a pathetic guy who is beneath her. She whispers to another guy, completely downplaying Nia Yan's presence. She calls him worthless besides his grades, but Nia Yan ignores her. He ignores her, heading straight to the force testing machine. He grips it. With full strength, he pulls. The screen flashes 162. He evaluates the numbers calmly, comparing them to his past self. A bit weak compared to before, but it will do for now. Next, he moves to the weight-bearing machine and exerts full power. 155 kilograms. The observer watching nearby is completely stunned. Lin Chi notices but rolls her eyes, still muttering insults. Unbothered, Nia Yan steps up to the punching machine. He throws a single, explosive strike. A massive boom echoes, instantly silencing the entire room, freezing everyone right in their tracks. Even Jai is completely frozen in utter shock. Nia Yan remains totally calm under the heavy pressure, slowly wrapping up his training session before handing his card back. At reception, Jai's attitude has completely flipped, leaving her flustered beyond belief. She authorizes a free session and a massive record-breaking bonus. Nia Yan accepts it calmly, though he definitely did not expect this. Then Liner tries to corner him for a private date because she's totally turned on by his power. He instantly rejects her. Without a second thought, he walks away, left rejected and frustrated. She talks trash to save face, talk about sour grapes. Meanwhile, Nia Yan goes to the mall to buy nutrient solutions. Now that his monthly food supply is fully secured, he heads home. Under the bright full moon, he equips his gaming gear and enters the game. He confirms his next immediate goal. Reach level 4 and prepare to hunt the elite Lion King Kato. After grabbing the Featherfall Jewel, Nirvana Flame relentlessly hunts water spiders with his dagger, leveling up extremely fast. He hits level 4 and immediately plans his next strategic move. Using a return scroll, he teleports to the Carré City auction house. He knows the demand for black phenol potions will soon skyrocket. Why? Because the SOS Valley dungeon is packed with poison monsters. So he buys 9 quivers of poison arrows and all the black phenol potions and recipes available, stunning the clerk. Nirvana Flame leaves the auction house, completely confident in his play. This massive investment is going to make him incredibly rich. He teleports back to Moto Town, sprinting straight to Crimson Dream Hills. Standing high on a cliff, he spots the boss from above. Lion King Kato's aura is massive, far superior to other elite monsters. He activates his Featherfall Jewel and leaps right off. His descent slows down to a crawl, as gravity is basically neutralized. While descending, he activates his Spider-Man ring and shoots Spider Silk to a nearby branch, stabilizing his position. Suspended high above, he locks onto a perfect, unused vantage spot. He readies his triple bow machine and loads up the poison arrows. He is fully prepared to rain death from above, meanwhile down. In Crimson Dream Hills, other players are sweating hard, grinding. Lions non-stop for experience and mats, but in the middle of this stands an absolute menace, a level 6 shield warrior named Bladelight. He stands proud on top of a dead lion like a trophy. His teammate asks if they should grind another 2 hours. They want to make sure their pelts are fully stacked. Bladelight nods, complaining that the lion armor still hasn't dropped. They only managed to get the shield. Hearing this, level 6. Elemental Mage Gao drops a reality check about the armor's drop rate. A 2% drop rate is pure fantasy, but Bladelight instantly claps right back. He laughs that 0.1% shield dropped anyway. Hiju instantly calls it luck, Loki roasting his buddy. A hyped Bladelight says if the armor drops too, his defense is unkillable. Hiju just side-eyes him, thinking this guy is getting way too ahead of himself. He is just slightly cracked at the game after all, but then Bladelight stops. His eyes lock onto something weird on a nearby cliff. He freezes in total disbelief. What is that? Look up there. Nirvana Flame is hanging from a tree. He is using a weaver's ring like casual parkour, suspended midair, absolutely farming. The elite Lion King below is getting shredded by his poison hand crossbow, complete menace. 3 poison bolts fly straight into the boss, turning it green and chunking its health. The beast roars in absolute rage at the sheer disrespect. Nearby, another player panics. He screams that fighting a massive boss head-on with a basic crossbow makes 0 sense. But someone else gets hyped, calling it pure genius since he is safely farming damage. No hits, Bladelight actually starts analyzing instead of just gaping. He figures out the setup, a weaver's ring plus weight reduction gear. Even with a massive budget, getting both rare items this early is incredibly tough. Another player is impressed by this clean, completely overpowered grinding style. It avoids damage entirely while stacking up massive kills incredibly fast. Still, Hiju wonders what kind of absolute monster needs such a complex setup. Suddenly, the ground shakes, everyone freezes, the elite Lion King arrives. One player greedily suggests stealing the kill, but before anyone can move. An entire lion pride shows up as backup. Sudden panic hits the group. Everyone scatters. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame keeps chilling midair, shooting. The beast desperately tries to reach him, but cannot close the gap at all. Nirvana Flame smirks, fully exploiting the terrain to his complete advantage. This exact range disadvantage is why he picked this perfect cliffside spot. Every single bolt lands perfectly, after 30 minutes of intense, non-stop grinding. The low-health Lion King goes completely berserk, but the clean hits keep coming, no panic. Finally, the massive beast collapses. Nirvana Flame floats down using his Featherfall jewel. He casually calls the strategy broken, knowing the lion pride can never touch him. Now it is time for loot. His super insight skill reveals the top-tier drops. The Lion King shield and a black bloodcloak drop, boasting incredible stats. Defense, resistance, and movement speed are all insane, perfect for his current build. Suddenly, a system notification flashes. He has finally reached level 5. Now he can dual-wield and equip his upgraded gear. Time to check the loadout. Horn dagger in the main hand, Assassin's Precept offhand, plus quick turning boots. With the black bloodcloak active, his movement speed is absolutely off the charts. He can now easily farm level 7 zones, scaling way ahead of everyone else. But wait, the lion pride is still closing in. He instantly triggers stealth to escape. While retreating, he suddenly collides head-on with someone running the other way. It is Bladelight. Both players stagger backward, but quickly recover their footing. Nirvana Flame recognizes him instantly, shocked to see one of the server's best. The guy is literally among the top 3 shield warriors in the entire game. Surrounded by lions on all sides, Bladelight desperately proposes they team up to escape. They move together, Nirvana Flame agrees, and Bladelight instantly charges in, slamming. His massive shield down, activating Intimidate, he pulls aggro like a seasoned frontliner. He tells Nirvana Flame to focus on stuns and help carve a clean path forward. Nirvana Flame keeps it simple, promising to handle the damage while leaving the defense too. Bladelight, they sync up instantly. Bladelight holds the front line while Nirvana Flame freezes targets with quick stuns and brutal burst damage. They start clearing lines with brutal efficiency, carving out a path to escape. The heavy encirclement. After gaining some safe distance, Bladelight finally relaxes. Laughing in disbelief that they actually made it out, Nirvana Flame silently watches him. Noting how this warrior keeps pace perfectly, enabling flawless damage without collapsing. Pure elite tank play, eventually they stop to catch their breath, Bladelight extends. His hand introducing himself properly and promising to repay him for the massive save. Nirvana Flame stares back, instantly recognizing his face from his past life memories. In the future, Bladelight becomes one of the premier shield warriors on the server. A top 3 powerhouse, the kind who easily carries entire guilds on his back. But a tragic betrayal in that timeline completely ruined his life, his girlfriend. Cheated on him with his closest friend, forcing him to quit and start over. Over time, his new faction withered away into a second-rate group, right now. Nirvana Flame shakes his hand, introducing himself simply as a thief, and during that firm handshake, he makes a solid promise: history does not have to repeat. He reaches inside his bag, pulling out a prime piece of gear. This rare item is flaunted directly at Bladelight, hitting him with a casual offer. Since he is a shield warrior, he asks if he wants to buy this drop. Bladelight looks closely at the item and his brain completely short-circuits. The Lion King's shield glows in his vision and he freezes. Mentally, he compares it to his own Lion shield grind, realizing the massive, disrespectful gap in stats. It is not even close. Feeling incredibly stressed but trying to look calm, he scratches his head in embarrassment. Admitting he does not have nearly enough silver coins on him, he suggests trading rare thief items from his storage or paying the rest back later. Nirvana Flame agrees instantly, no hesitation. Then he casually pulls up Bladelight's guild information through the system, scanning it quickly, and asks if he knows a player named Hiju from the Unhindered Guild. Bladelight nods but instantly grows cautious, demanding to know how a stranger knows that specific name. Nirvana Flame drops an absolute emotional bomb, saying, "Friends spotted Hiju and a woman named Nia Yen together at the Knight's Charm Bar in Kerr City and things seemed highly suspicious between them." He asks if they are close. Bladelight completely freezes, his mind blue screens and then the cold fury hits. He explains Nia Yen is his girlfriend and Hiju is his brother, the two people he trusts most in the world. He refuses to believe they are lying. Nirvana Flame simply shrugs, keeping his distance from the unfolding drama, telling him that if he encounters Hiju again, things will not end peacefully. He casually adds that this is a personal matter, but offers an open invitation to join him if he ever leaves the Unhindered Guild. Bladelight snaps back, calling out the blatant poaching attempt and instantly refusing the offer. Leaving his comrades is completely impossible, and joining a new faction is out. Nirvana Flame just laughs it off. He waves casually, then he walks away. Behind him, their conversation becomes mere background noise. He never expected to convince him easily. Still, the truth will hit different later. Bladelight stands there frozen, stuck in his own thoughts. He refuses to believe it. Even so, that annoying doubt is already starting to creep in. He tries to force trust, but that seed is already planted. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame slips into stealth. He sprints forward at maximum speed. He is already locked onto his next target, a level 8 sub-elite. The mighty Ogre Devourer. In his mind, this is just some free experience waiting to be harvested. He spots the ugly 6,000 health beast just standing there alone. There are no other ogres nearby to disrupt the fight itself. A clean solo setup. He analyzes the beast carefully, noting its heavy body but deceptively fast movement. He keeps his distance, leaping onto a sturdy branch, readying his trusty triple bow crossbow like a pro. Since this is just a sub-elite, it should be easier than Cardo. Using his past life knowledge, the only real danger is the petrifying gaze. He fires poison arrows. They land clean. The Ogre Devourer takes damage. Turning to charge instantly, Nirvana Flame completely locks in mentally. This monster can easily one-shot him with its gaze. Absolutely no mistakes allowed. The ogre swings its giant club, destroying the branch in one hit. Wood flies everywhere, but Nirvana Flame already jumped clear, smooth and predictable. He reads the attack pattern midair. It is almost scripted. He knows that gaze is coming, and yep, it triggers right. On cue, the beast's eyes glow. He reacts instantly, activating his crawler ring to swing to another branch before the spell locks him down. He counters immediately, firing more poison arrows. The damage stacks up as the beast goes feral, smashing through trees, branches. Shattered debris flies, yet Nirvana Flame keeps hopping branches easily. His spider ring basically turns him into a relentless, unstoppable kiting machine. He keeps wearing the boss down, slowly dropping its health to 31%. He thinks it is almost done, just a bit more kiting. Then, things go bad. He lands to see 3 normal ogres ahead. His flow shatters completely. Getting surrounded here means instant, brutal death. With that gaze in play, cold sweat kicks in as he evaluates everything. Fast, he refuses to gamble, switching plans instantly to abandon the kiting. Go for a direct finish. The Devourer charges, swinging hard. He dodges smoothly, circles behind the beast, and draws his dagger. He locks in for the finish. The dagger flashes, piercing the neck clean. The ogre roars in agony. Its health drops to 0. Nirvana Flame retreats instantly as the massive body collapses, but this brief victory does not last. A sudden ambush hits him right in the face. Another ogre appears from nowhere, smashing him hard with a giant club. It roars in triumph, then it freezes. Absolutely nothing happened. Nirvana Flame does not even flinch. He stands there as if the blow was purely cosmetic. Slowly he turns his head with a dark, freezing stare, asking icily who just. He tries landing a critical hit on him, but Nirvana Flame instantly rushes in with 0 chill, swinging his dagger like it is personal. Within minutes, the ogre Devourer drops with a final roar. Folded, one by one he wipes out every ogre in the area, like a cleanup job nobody really asked for, but everyone benefits from. After making sure the entire zone is completely monster-free, he steps in to loot. As he sorts through drops, his eyes literally light up like he hit a massive jackpot, a crossbow of bloodshed and moonlight ritual staff. Both gold tier. He admits taking down high-level mobs hits different because the experience jumps to 74%, and the loot drops are straight-up disrespectful. Soon after, Nirvana Flame strolls into the Carol City auction house, acting like he owns the place, dumping his gear on the counter and requesting everything go up for auction, then casually asks for all black phenol potions, practically making it a grocery run. The merchant immediately goes full polite mode. Out of nowhere, he notices a player hyping up a skill book, advanced potion. Materials: a thief skill book, rapid retreat. No one misses out. Nirvana Flame locks in. Rapid retreat caught his eye. He walks over and the seller clocks him as a thief, trying to pitch it even harder. Nirvana Flame scans him and clocks the drip. Light walker. Robes, wind of the falling moon staff. Not your average random player, definitely. Someone who did not grind casually. He calls rapid retreat a rare escape skill. Basically a top tier, do not get folded ability for thieves in the wild. The seller flexes his luck, saying his squad got nothing for days at Radiant Canyon. But he got this drop in 3 hours, market value higher than silver gear. Radiant Canyon gets mentioned. Nirvana Flame immediately probes deeper, asking if Radiant Monastery has been cleared yet, and if Fatal Strike dropped too. The seller says they are nowhere near clearing it. That is when Nirvana Flame notices the name Divine Retribution, and he freezes internally. That name is not new to him. In his past life, this guy was a menace-level independent player who clashed with the Radiant Sacred Flame Guild and built a serious reputation wiping out guild members with his crew. No guild support though, so his fame eventually got buried under bigger factions. Nirvana Flame realizes he just ran into him way too early in the timeline. He smoothly introduces himself and buys rapid retreat for 1 silver and 50 copper. The seller immediately clocks him as a high-tier player and insists 1 silver is enough. After the trade, Nirvana Flame instantly sends a friend request, accepted with 0 hesitation. Nirvana Flame casually drops the idea of future dungeon runs, and Divine Retribution is visibly hyped because his group has been struggling to form proper parties. Then Nirvana Flame notices a stack of herbs nearby, asking about them. He learns 3 of their members are running gathering professions just to survive economically. Nearby, a pharmacist's stall is in absolute chaos. A potion fails and Eggless Birds gets absolutely cooked by the Dark Ranger Guild members. They roast him, blame him, and physically humiliate him while trashing his work. The guy thrashes him both physically and verbally before storming off. Messy and toxic, Nirvana Flame watches silently, his expression going cold. Divine Retribution tries to stop him from. Others hesitate to get involved, but Nirvana Flame is already locked in mentally. He recognizes the situation instantly because Eggless Bird is not just some unlucky player. In Nirvana Flame's past life, this washed-up apprentice actually became the future king of potions. the same guy who later joined Victorious Return and brewed potions that caused massive headaches. He brewed those for Nirvana Flame's enemies. Right now, he is a nobody. But Nirvana Flame just smiles because the timing here is absolutely perfect. He was just kicked out. It is the perfect recruitment window. He walks straight up, already decided. Divine Retribution tries to stop him. But he ignores them completely, caring only about raw talent. He approaches Egla's bird and asks about Razor, the mage from earlier. Then he hits him with a direct question about his recent humiliation. Egla's bird is shaken and defensive, but Nirvana Flame does not flinch. He simply tells him to tag along if he wants people to regret today. No fake promises here, just raw confidence. The words hit differently. Years of heavy frustration finally crack something open inside the young alchemist. He breaks down, slowly rebuilding his confidence right in front of us. Nirvana Flame walks away, fully convinced the guy will follow him. He recognizes the pattern, the same helpless beginning he once faced, but things are different now. Egla's bird rushes after him, demanding to know what he is even supposed to do. His potion skills are terrible, and his success rate is basically ruining his own wallet. Nirvana Flame casually responds that it is still just standard potion brewing. Egla's bird mentions his hidden skill, a 2% chance to boost potion effects. But he thinks it is useless because his high failure rate completely cancels it out. Nirvana Flame pauses, calling that passive skill decent instead of dismissing it. Egla's bird is completely baffled. What does he even see in him? Nirvana Flame simply tells him that he will cover every single brewing cost. That offer changes everything. Egla's bird realizes this stranger is betting big on him. It makes absolutely no logical sense, yet it is happening right now. Behind his confusion, something new begins to take root: direction. He follows Nirvana Flame, unsure of the path ahead but finally moving forward again. Nirvana Flame casually hands over an official agreement, and the alchemist starts reading. He immediately goes into full system overload, completely stunned by the terms. The deal is insanely stacked. He does not even have to pay for herbs. On top of that, he is promised a 30% profit share from sales. That number alone is wild. This contract is so generous, it looks illegal. It makes standard contracts look like complete scams. Nirvana Flame remains perfectly calm. He treats it like a routine decision, proving the alchemist has worth. Egla's bird locks in immediately with clenched fists, feeling fired up. He is fully motivated, as if his entire life just got patched. Nirvana Flame prepares to leave, but suddenly pauses to add one more thing. Any serious alchemist needs proper storage and high-end equipment. Without hesitation, he hands over a storage bag and high-grade herbs. Egla's bird freezes on the spot, his brain completely crashes. This level of generosity is so extreme that it feels entirely unreal. Deep gratitude hits hard, leaving him visibly overwhelmed. Massive debt far too heavy to easily repay. Nirvana Flame just dismisses the tearful thanks like it is useless drama, explaining that personal motives always exist, and the only focus now is brewing potions to make some serious profit. Egla's bird instantly locks in, tightly clutching the rare resources. Before heading off to start brewing without a second thought, as he leaves, Nirvana Flame watches him with cold, calculated ambition. The goal is to raise Egla's bird into a legendary Grandmaster alchemist, building a loyal core team. To avoid repeating his past life's brutal failures against greedy financial factions. With that settled, the focus shifts back to his own power, Nirvana. Flame recalls secrets of rare, legendary gear hidden away. Chief among them is a thief-class god-tier artifact called Sogo Shadow, a pair of legendary boots with insane value, but the item is broken, split apart. It is scattered across the Vidian Empire in 3 pieces, making this brutal, high-difficulty hunt, even though the path leads straight into the Natland marshes. He finally arrives. He knows this place is a highly dangerous hunting zone. In his past life, someone else snatched the fragments before he had any chance, but things are different now. He has one clear objective: claiming that legendary artifact for himself. As he slips deeper into the marsh, a strange ripple shivers through the muddy ground ahead. Suddenly, a level 6 swamp giant lizard bursts from the muck, lunging instantly, caught off guard. Nirvana Flame slides backward, finding his footing as he draws his twin daggers. He triggers Vital Strike, and the sudden blow tears deep into the monster's health bar. The massive beast shrieks in agony. Nirvana Flame leaps high, landing squarely on its scaled back to drive a vicious strike straight into its skull, instantly deleting its health bar. Talk about clean. He twirls his blade, realizing this thick swamp mud slows down his movements. But with his current gear and higher level, even a high-level swamp giant lizard is barely a warm-up, moving onward. The wetlands turn incredibly thick, the heavy mist blinding. He stays alert, keeping an eye out for hidden monsters and predatory players alike. These Natin marshes are a death trap for low-level players, but a goldmine. For the elites, the monsters here drop rare equipment and more. Importantly, a chance to grab the priest's basic resurrection skill book. Ancient stone ruins begin to emerge through the thick fog. Suddenly, a strange sensation hits. Nirvana Flame presses a hand to his temples as intense dizziness takes over, his health bar slowly draining. His face drops as he realizes he is poisoned. Talk about a nightmare scenario. He triggers swift retreat. Suddenly, a massive shadow slams down. Right where he stood a second ago, a heavy scaled tail cuts through the mist, revealing a level 7 sub-elite horned basilisk. The monster emerges fully, unleashing a deafening, earth-shaking roar. Nirvana Flame backs away, thankful he leveled that escape skill so early. While its stats are not totally overwhelming, this muddy swamp terrain puts him at a massive disadvantage. Enraged, the horned basilisk charges forward, tearing through the water at an absolutely terrifying speed. Out in the crumbling ancient ruins, a group of players stands waiting. Level 6 berserker named Eternal Sin of Light and Dark wields his massive greatsword, scanning the area with a heavy frown because Candy is missing. Beside him, a level 6 holy mage named Suli warns they have pulled too many monsters already. The berserker grunts, noting that the surrounding area is empty. They will have nothing left to grind unless they push deeper into the ruins. Right then, a figure cuts through the fog. Candy, their level 5 thief, is back, dragging a massive train of angry lizard monsters right behind him. He easily dodges their claws, using swift movement skills to outrun them. The berserker grips his greatsword tightly and signals the mages to get ready. Spells start chanting. The berserker immediately triggers his devastating whirlwind slash, sending a sharp, deadly blade wave crashing directly into the oncoming horde. Right on cue, the mages let loose a roaring thunderburst, striking the swarm with lightning and vaporizing their health bars. Candy moves in, slipping through the chaos to execute the remaining monsters with fast dagger strikes. Just like that, the entire lizard swarm is totally wiped out. Standing over the bodies, Candy twirls his dagger, looking completely bored by it. The berserker lowers his blade, confirming they cleared out the entire zone. He orders everyone to rest before they move on. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame is sprinting hard through the marsh toward their position. He spots a party ahead, quickly realizing they are a fully geared team. But the group notices him too, a lone thief in this area. That means he is either incredibly brave or seriously skilled. Candy grins, instantly sizing up the newcomer as some easy entertainment. Thick killing intent suddenly fills the misty air. Nirvana Flame feels it instantly, sensing the hostile vibes even though he did not do anything. Then the berserker charges. Nirvana Flame just smirks, shifting direction midair to easily dodge, but a terrifying roar rattles the marsh. Berserker pauses as a massive shadow looms in the fog. A colossal horned basilisk crashes right through the mist, looking absolutely furious. It charges straight at the squad with zero chill, targeting Eternal Sin first. The monster opens its massive jaws, lunging directly for the berserker. He instantly raises his dark greatsword to block, but the impact is insane. He grinds his teeth, desperately struggling to hold back those giant, snapping jaws. Then the realization hits him. They have been totally set up. That sneaky thief literally baited the massive beast right into their faces. Meanwhile, Nirvana Flame is already dashing away, but he is not clear yet. Before he can even make a clean escape, a lightning bolt smacks his back. A system warning pops up. The team with such has initiated combat. He now has 30 minutes of legitimate self-defense time. He glances back. Looking at the enemy mages, their damage output is completely insane. But before he can even plan his next move, sudden danger strikes from behind. Candy slips out of stealth, aiming a deadly blade right at his spine. He expects a quick, easy kill, but Nirvana Flame is way too fast. Sensing the blade, he triggers a quick stun and blocks it cleanly. He blocks with his dagger, metal clashes, Candy freezes for a second. Brock actually detected him. Nirvana Flame doesn't waste a single second. He triggers. His special ring launches a grapple toward a distant tree and swings up. In one clean movement, his eyes narrow. This guy is the real deal. To take down this entire squad, he needs the giant monster to do the heavy. Lifting first, back on the battlefield, the raging horned basilisk opens its mouth. Wide and charges straight toward Eternal Sin. The warrior tightens his grip without flinching. At the absolute last second, he drives his dark blade straight into the beast's mouth, stopping the bite cold. Now that guy is beyond tilted. The squad immediately shifts focus to hunt Nirvana Flame, while Candy gets assigned to intercept him. Candy activates stealth without a shred of doubt. Brock is convinced he's about to clutch this. At almost the same moment, Nirvana Flame also vanishes into stealth, blending right into the trees. Seeing this, the holy mage immediately warns the team. The thief is invisible too. Nobody let that rat get close, hidden inside the shadows. Nirvana Flame casually wraps a combat bandage around himself, recovering his HP. While wearing the biggest smirk imaginable, the basilisk can babysit them for now. They're strong enough to actually defeat the monster, and now everyone is busy searching for him, and honestly, this is definitely not the moment to jump in. Meanwhile, the furious basilisk unleashes a massive cloud of toxic gas. The poisonous breath slams directly into Eternal Sin, and his HP starts draining nonstop. The squad's priest immediately prepares a spell, but Candy tells him to use Illuminate. As Xian begins casting, Nirvana Flame bursts out of stealth at full speed, dagger aimed right at his back, but Candy completely reads the play. Illuminate exposes Nirvana Flame's exact position the moment his dagger is about to land. Candy slides in, blocking the attack, saving Xiang by the narrowest margin. A grin spreads across Candy's face. Lucky guess, except it doesn't feel lucky at all. Nirvana Flame's stealth instantly breaks. Without hesitation, he activates rapid retreat and flips backward to create distance. Talk about a massive miscalculation. Illuminate marked him for the next 2 minutes. Glimmer Mark will constantly reveal his location. Since his rebirth, this is literally the first sneak attack that completely flopped. This squad won't give him another opening. Retreat is the only smart play. Still recovering from almost becoming free loot, Xian looks toward Candy with visible disbelief. If Candy hadn't stepped in, that priest would already be face down in the dirt. Candy casually licks the candy in hand. Unbothered by any of this, back on the battlefield, Eternal Sin keeps trading blows with the horned basilisk, now that Illuminate permanently exposed Nirvana Flame's location. The berserker figures the thief won't risk getting close again, might as well finish the boss first. Far away, Nirvana Flame lands on top of a mountain cliff overlooking the battlefield. His eyes narrow. The basilisk is almost out of HP, probably about to run right on cue. The horned basilisk opens its mouth again and releases another massive wave of poisonous gas toward Eternal Sin. He instantly realizes what's happening. The monster isn't attacking anymore, it's escaping. The very next second, the basilisk spins right around and bolts off at full speed. The squad immediately hunts it down, totally refusing to let that legendary loot despawn. From the mountaintop, Nirvana Flame watches the whole chase play out with a massive grin. Finally, the RNG stopped trolling him just before the squad catches up. He can easily intercept that half-dead monster. Nirvana catches right up to the giant lizard, quickly whips out his arrow thrower and fires off several poison arrows. Every single shot lands clean. The beast's tiny health bar drops even lower. The monster roars in pure rage, but Nirvana Flame never gives the chance to strike back. He explodes forward, activates Vital Strike, and leaps onto the beast's head, driving his dagger straight down through the skull. The horned basilisk lets out one final, ground-shaking roar before crashing lifelessly onto the dirt. Meanwhile, Eternal Sin and his squad keep on tracking the giant monster. A moment later, Sheen spots Nirvana Flame calmly looting the fresh corpse. Instantly, the truth hits everyone. The thief stole their kill. The angry squad instantly prepares to cast spells, standing out of danger. Nirvana Flame glances right back with the most disrespectful smirk possible. Then the absolute menace actually blows them a kiss. Thanks for carrying the boss fight, bozos. A flash of holy light flies his way, but he easily slips aside, making the enemy attack miss harder than a level 1. Trying to challenge a massive boss. Smugly smiling, he looks down at the item in his hand. His luck today is honestly unreal. The drop is real, a skill book. called Basic Resurrection.